Imagine you're your
Thank you
neighbor.
guys for teaching it
You're
to me,
just
though. I
hearing
really
this through the
appreciate
wall.
that.
Yeah, this is the national anthem. Imagine being at a baseball game
No
right
context.
now.
I'm feeling pretty patriotic.
It's not even like him anymore. It's like fucking Hulk.
Louis Armstrong, right?
What the actual fuck is happening?
That happened in my ears.
I wrote this verse myself.
This is a warning to all living mortals. That who shall ever open this chest of demons will release 13 of the most terrifying ghosts upon the face of the earth. Okay, cut it. This isn't going to work. Let's try some nostalgia bait.
Epstein will not be appearing on tonight's program.
It's finally strange. You looking happily rain. I can't be telling you, man. Or have you picked your target yet? It's empty. Don't you dog bite? It's empty.
Cindy's dog also not appearing on tonight's program.
It's empty. Don't you dog bite? It's empty. It's empty. Don't you dog bite? It's empty.
Okay, that was better. But let's try something a bit more cinematic.
Hey, where my broken arrows at? They try to tell us we can't fly. Like we too broken or something. I mean, I'd rather let them know. Balls up. Hold up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Hold up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Broken arrows. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Hold up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Hold up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. All the way up. Get them balls 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 all the way up. Broken arrows get bows up. Sometimes I pray with my nose up. Thinking about when the world crumbles and my whole squad just goes up. Whoa. Ain't gotta worry, we straight like an arrow, yeah. Ain't gotta worry about fame, nope. I'm on that straight and the narrow, yeah. I just go straight like an arrow, yeah.
Yeah, that's the shit I like. Let's start the Barroom podcast. Take it away, Jacob.
My biggest regret about that intro was making Pete Chuck Norris, because he deserves so much less than being Chuck Norris for the intro.
Wow. It's wow.
By the way, congratulations, Pete, on getting a girlfriend. So I'm bravo.
Just catching strays all the time.
Now I regret it even more.
No, I thought it was a funny coincidence. He announced that last week on Twitter. It was like, oh, hey, cool, good for him. Show up more.
I'm not trying to be like mean or anything. Is that what we do now? Do we let the whole world know that we have a girlfriend? Is that what we do?
I probably wouldn't. I mean, if you announce it, then it goes to shit like 2 weeks later. Then you're gonna look stupid.
Attention, everyone! I no longer have a girlfriend. Is that what we do?
Back on the market, baby.
Yeah, right? I just, I don't know. I go back and forth on that because, like, even back in the day when you update your Facebook relationship status, I was always like, "This is gay." Mm-hmm. Why are we telling everybody this? This is dumb. When we get married, it matters. Not that we're boyfriend and girlfriend.
May be the gayest social media app ever created, and I remember MySpace. Like, I'm old enough to remember MySpace.
MySpace was badass. You could like HTML customize your page, and I did that. And I did that for all my girlfriends. That's how I had so many girlfriends.
I could do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no, I
want
remember
gifts
that.
on your MySpace page? Show me your boobs.
I never learned to code, but man, I learned to put a fancy wallpaper on my MySpace. So there's always that. Mine was
music.
Zanga. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the blog post sites. And anyway, all of this is embarrassing. I've never grown up from a high school understanding of relationships, so that's why I'm very into the whole in a relationship status on social media site.
Oh,
so there you go.
Okay, that makes sense.
That connects.
Oh, by the way, it's episode 158 of the Ballroom, and we're here. We got people here. We got a bunch of people here. We got Ryback here. How's it going, Ryback?
It's heavy.
Oh, we got Heavy back. Why does that sound like an innuendo? Why does that sound like...
Maybe just
Are those the all dressed like Canadian Lay's chips, or are they just the regular?
Those just regular old the wavy wavy chips.
Ruffles.
Yeah, Ruffles. There it is.
There we go.
Speaking of obscure chips, has anyone ever had the prawn flavored Pringles that they sell mostly in the UK?
You got to stop. I just saw that this week, and I thought it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. They're talking about crisps. I was like, you mean like chips? Okay, just
they're
stop.
called crisps in the UK.
Yeah,
and Rob's here. How's it going, Rob?
pretty good.
Pretty solid.
So, I'll just say real quick. I saw Eddington last week, and it was great. I mean, this is not okay. I need to stress this is not going to be for everybody. But it makes fun of a lot of people I hate. So I had a really good time. It overextends its welcome. It shouldn't be 2.5 hours long. There are definitely things that I could pick about it, but I just was laughing so much, and watching like the mask wearing like psychotics get made fun of for the first like 45 minutes to an hour was just fantastic. So I'd say it's worth checking out if you found the pandemic to be frustrating and terrible and want some kind of a cathartic release. At least someone's being like, hey, that was fucked up, right? So I enjoyed seeing Eddington.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Like I said, I think I talked about this last night on the show. There's literally been 8 movies in the last calendar year that all stall Pedro Pascal, and he still has at least 2 more coming out later this year. I'm just sick and tired of looking at his face at this point. Like, if there is ever a face worthy of a Stone Cold Stunner, it will be Pedro Pascal at this point.
I don't want to spoil it, okay? But if you do not like Pedro Pascal, you will enjoy what happens to him in this movie. That's all I'm going to say. So just, hang in there.
I mean, between his punchable face and like every movie that's been released in the last few years, then you got to see him on the red carpet running around with his brother. Is my brother hot, guys? Is my brother so sex? It's like, no. Stop the gas. Like, no, we'll get to that later on in the show. That is a topic that we'll talk about in more detail. But we're here on YouTube, we're here on Rumble, we're here on X, all 3 platforms. There are going to be people coming in throughout the course of the show. Neozoic is the first one here, saying howdy all you people in the chat here tonight. I guess his first question is, what's your favorite Ozzy Osbourne performance? Because Ozzy Osbourne died today. I'm not sure if you heard that, but yeah, he just passed away after having his last performance a couple weeks ago. Now, I'm probably the wrong person to ask this because I've never been an Ozzy Osbourne fan. Never really been a fan of his music at any point. Not to say that I've never listened to like heavy metal. I mean, I've listened to like Motorhead and Metallica and guys like that, but just the whole Black Sabbath thing was never a draw to me. So maybe you guys have better experience with Ozzy than I do.
Nope.
Ozzy Osbourne was a figure that was kind of pushed on me a little bit. I'd never really grasped his importance to like Black Sabbath in the 70s. I mean, I have a better understanding of it now. Really, it's a couple of power ballads that he did in the 90s that I like best because, when it comes to music, I'm kind of a big softie. But it was like that and the Osbournes, the MTV reality show that came out in the 2000s, I want to say something like that. But just he's whatever. He meant a lot to older people. People that like older generations and stuff. So But yeah, like he was definitely, you could tell just by his inclusion in things, whether it was like, you know, like a wrestling event or Saturday Night Live, or you could tell he was a cultural like icon that people wanted to be associated with. And so, you know, tip of the hat.
Apparently he's in the WWE Hall of Fame, and my immediate reaction was like, for what? What did he do that was worthy of being in the WWE Hall? I don't know. Maybe it's just Triple H is a mark for metal. That it seems to be what it is to me, but I don't understand it. Something that did hit a little closer to home was Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away yesterday. Apparently it was some kind of like tragic like drowning incident that he died from. He was only like 54. I was like, yeah, that sucks. I don't know if I say favorite, because obviously a lot of people are going to go with The Cosby Show for the obvious reasons. There's a few other shows that he did that were very good too. I had just saw him on a show on Netflix. I'm not sure you guys realize, called Detroiters. It was with a guy who's the same guys from I Think You Should Leave, which is also a popular show on Netflix. He did a couple episodes in that and thought it was pretty good too. But yeah, just the whole circumstances of his death is kind of sad. But you know, Malcolm Jamal Warning, I guess performances you can think of.
Just The Cosby Show.
Mm.
I think he was in like a Disney movie or something like that a couple times, but
I mean, he was in a few things. Like, it's no like his spot on what was it? The Fresh Prince has been going viral over the last couple of days too. I'm trying to think that there was another show that I'm not sure if it was him or if it was Eddie Griffin that was on UPN back in the day. I can't remember whose exactly it was though. Yeah, Malcolm and Eddie. That's the name of the show. I was thinking of a completely different show, but that was not it. But yeah, he was on that show for a few years on UPN. For anyone old enough to remember what UPN is. But I mean, like I said, he's just a guy who's been around forever. Has been in a lot of stuff. So
I feel bad that like there's so few things that like I've actually seen it. Sons of Anarchy, 3 episodes. And then he was in like Dexter as Rita's lawyer. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's about it. And I feel bad because I, you know, like my parents just a couple months ago were watching The Resident, some medical show on Netflix or something.
yeah.
And like, dude, the guy was in incredible shape. I was thinking like, dude, if I could be in as good a shape when I'm 54, you know what I mean? And so that's why, and I saw the headline, I was shocked. I was like, that dude who's in great shape, and I realize, and obviously you hear all the stuff about how easy it is to drown, how easy it is to die from asphyxia and stuff like that. But even that, it's odd that, you know, it's something like that occurs or happens. But yeah, it's sad.
And to me, the fact that Bill Cosby outlived him is kind of insane when you think about it. Because I mean, how old is Cosby at this point? Like he's been Angel for a
2,000 years old.
Yeah, he's old, man.
Yeah. Who else we got here? Leslie Tarkin joining us here today. She's Theo Huspel is my favorite. He was the older brother I wish I had. That's saying a lot. So what else we got here? Sakura Mita said, okay, you share images at the beginning of the barroom. Hit me up on Twitter, and then I'll put it up there a little bit later on in the show. Vanya is asking me if I can do a custom AI short for him. I think Cider is more of your AI guy if you're looking for something with AI, so he would be the one to hit up there. As far as that one, I'm not nearly as good at it as he is. Even though the intro I did completely on my own, Cider had nothing to do with that whatsoever. I just want to make that clear.
It's true. Spider Cider looks like my uncle. It throws me. And I was like, oh, he's back alive again? Hot damn. Oh, no.
What is this sorcery? Keith is
right.
over here joining us again. Doba Fett, yeah, heavy weapons guy, exactly. MySpace was interesting. MySpace, like I said, when you look at the realm of social media platforms, MySpace may have been the best, and it took us about 10 years after it died for us to actually realize it. So, yeah, it was one of those things. Someone get a sandwich for a heavy cider. It says that French fries are called chips in the UK. Yeah, the whole fish and chips thing is just absolutely stupid. Yeah, Pedro Pascal. Oh, I will say this here too. Pedro Pascal, if you see him in these press junkets and on the red carpet of these events, like I said, he's seemingly in a movie like every 3 weeks. So he's been in a lot of press junkets over the last calendar year. He has the demeanor of a severe sexual assault victim, which I don't know, maybe it explains why he's getting so many roles in Hollywood these days, but he literally looks like someone who should be in a bubble wrapped room, if you guys know what I mean.
That's why he has to hold hands with his female co-stars.
Yeah, right. Just to remind him that he's totally not gay.
So he doesn't melt into like a puddle of rainbow, you know?
Yeah. Terminator Joe's joining us here as well. It says, does the head get crushed by the mountain again? We'll figure it out. Yeah, that's another thing that I've noticed too. Very, very creepy. Him and Ziegler are Hollywood. Ziegler's probably more unlikable if we're being honest with ourselves, but Pedro is like rapidly climbing the charts, and he's doing so in a much quicker fashion. Terminator says that Ozzy was the most overrated singer ever. I'm a Dido fan. Rest in peace. Surprised he made it to 76. Yeah, there's a lot of those guys. I mean, let's be honest. Lemmy, died at 70, and there was a lot of people surprised that he made it that long. So, given the lifestyle that those guys live, they probably should have died maybe about 3 decades earlier. Gene Simmons is more popular than Ozzy. Well, I mean, Kiss, I think, generally is more popular, but that's a whole other conversation. Magic School Bus. Yeah, no, I completely forgot that he was even in that one.
Ozzy Osbourne was in the Magic School Bus?
No, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah, I assumed it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that a camera effect that's supposed to be happening?
No,
okay.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, hold on.
Saw your mouse.
There we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fixed now. There you go. Ozzy in the afterlife after dying of old age and seeing all the old magicians who OD'd. And the joke is...
Yeah, all the old magicians.
It smells like bitch in here. That's what the caption says.
Yeah, 88, exactly. Zoic has one last question here. It says that James Gunn's Superman is worse than Superman 4. I don't know if I go quite that far, but I don't know. Some people I think are overrating it just because they had so much invested in the James Gunn universe working because of the whole Snyder thing. I don't think that movie is nearly as good as people are saying it is. It's probably a solid 2.5 out of 5 for me. Like I said, I have no interest in going back and watching it again. That's just my personal opinion. So there it is there. But we got topics to talk about here tonight. We got conspiracies to talk about here tonight. We got simps to talk about tonight. So there's a lot of ground to cover here. So we're going to start off with a hot topic, which is Stephen Colbert. And Stephen Colbert's show has been canceled. The Late Show, he was the replacement for David Letterman. Basically turned the Late Show into another Daily Show clone, which quite honestly is literally the reason why so many late night shows died, and because they were all just Daily Show clones. Like, it was him, it was Samantha Bee, it was Trevor Noah, it was the other black guy who got fired from his show.
Larry Wilmore.
Yeah. All these guys, they were all just trying to do a worse impression of Jon Stewart on their show, and the fact that there were like 9 of them going simultaneously is literally what killed late night here. But now people are upset and furious because the conspiracy is that the reason why he got fired is because Trump made the call to CBS and they got rid of him. So they're now under the impression that Trump is the reason why Colbert got fired. Not the fact that they were paying him $20 million a year for a late night show no one was watching at all. The ratings were cratering for decades. I mean, I've literally been covering to be fair, Christian Toto might have been doing it a lot more than I have, but we've been talking about this for like almost 10 years now, this whole late night TV and the whole descent. When you talk about the Seth Meyers, the Jimmy Kimmels, those John Olifers, all of these guys, like, you guys are the reason why this whole thing died. But here's his initial announcement. This is him saying that, yeah, by the way, my show's ending. This will be the last year, and we'll talk about the circumstances leading up to this here in a bit.
I'll let you know something that I found out just last night. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And
where else are we going to rage out against Trump? I don't know, the 7 other late night shows that also rage out against Trump. You really don't need Stephen Colbert at this point. Like, I hate to break this to you.
Meanwhile,
yeah, I share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away. And I do want to say,
congratulations for killing David Letterman's legacy. I'm proud of yourself. You were going to say something, Cider?
I was gonna say, meanwhile the camera pans over and you see a sign that says "boo,"
Yeah.
telling the audience what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Say that the folks at CBS have been great partners. I'm so grateful to the Tiffany Network for giving me this chair and this beautiful theater to call home. And of course, I'm grateful to you, the audience, who have joined us. And I am extraordinarily, deeply grateful to the 200 people who work here. We get to do this.
There's 200 people who work on this fucking show?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yep. It operates like a short bus, but in reality, it's a military platoon.
200 people?
What the fuck?
And half of them are producers.
There you go.
This show. We get to do this show for each other every day, all day. And I've had the pleasure and the responsibility of sharing what we do every day with you in front of this camera for the last 10 years. And
God, it's only been 10 years. Well, like I said, the reaction has not been very. The left is not taking this very well. They are very, very upset by this. Obviously, I mean, to shock absolutely no one, Trump is very happy that the show is getting canceled because he's literally dedicated the last 10 years of making everything all about Donald Trump. This show has essentially been a place for leftists to melt down about how Donald Trump's been running the country for the last 10 years. That's literally all the show's been about. Even when he wasn't president for that 4-year period, the focus was still on Donald Trump. They had nothing else outside of Trump to talk about. This was an interaction I think happened a couple of days ago. And like I said, they're not taking it very well. They're just not. So here's Colbert a couple of days after that announcement.
on Friday, Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." How dare you,
That was a mixed
sir?
reaction from
Would
the crowd.
an untalented man be able to compose the following satirical witticism? Go
What?
yourself.
Yeah, that's what we call satire in 2025.
This
But
is
other people,
This is
Go ahead.
network television, by the way.
yeah,
Nationally distributed network television.
CBS.
Bleeped out F-bombs on, you know?
they still have to deal with the FCC on CBS, believe it or not.
Yep.
So this was Jon Stewart on the revived Daily Show doing the same thing that all these other guys are doing. And, like I said, now all the late night hosts are like taking up for Colbert because, their ecosystem has been shattered. So they all have to stand up for Colbert against Trump because they're all against Trump. So here's Jon Stewart doing his impression of a mentally stable person.
Go fuck yourself! Wait, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let it be quiet. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Everybody! Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself.
This is what late night comedy has become over the last 15 years. This is precisely what it has become for the last 15 years.
You know what's funny too is that all of this just plays into like Trump's hands. Like
Mhm.
they didn't learn anything since 2016 with the whole this is not how you respond. You respond, if anything, by trying to genuinely make fun of Trump. But when you're not funny and haven't been funny in a long time, I'll actually push back on some of the stuff in the chat. I grew up watching The Daily Show. I grew up watching The Colbert Report. These guys were funny when they actually made fun of politicians on both sides. And even then, it was still mostly against Republicans. You know what I mean? But there was a genuine attempt to be humorous, to be funny, and to seek out or poke out hypocrisy. And now it's just like and again, I said in the chat, the last 15 years, these late night shows have been dying. Their success is largely dictated upon the clips that are watched that they put out the next morning. So anyway.
Yeah, it gets worse. So now, like I said, the conspiracy has been growing over the last couple of weeks now that the reason why Colbert was fired is because of Donald Trump. That Donald Trump somehow made a call to CBS, and I guess somehow after 10 years of being on CBS's network, shitting on Donald Trump nonstop every single night for a decade, this was the time that he quote-unquote pulled in the favor and got him pulled off of the air. Even though he could have done this at literally at any point of the last decade, but this was the specific reason that he decided to do it. So now everyone's like, oh no, the government is censoring us. So here are the women of The View saying that basically Colbert's show getting canceled is a threat to the First Amendment of the United States of America. Hilarious.
But my concern is if it is political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned, because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? And so the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, and that is freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth to power. If that is taken away, if the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled. That's right. That means the very rubric of our democracy is being dismantled.
If we don't have one of 9 late night comedians shitting on Donald Trump constantly for years on out, the First Amendment is under attack, people. Now, it's not like, Colbert, Kimmel, Fallon, Oliver, Myers, Noah, all these guys simultaneously all got their shows canceled at the exact same time. It's just Colbert. And the reality is that apparently CBS, if you guys didn't know, we did talk about this a couple weeks ago with the whole South Park situation. They're going through a merger right now. They've been hurting for money for a long, long period. This is the same conglomerate that owns like MTV, VH1, Nickelodeon. Those channels are basically dead at this point. And then they have obviously the Paramount stuff, the CBS. These are the same people that have been giving Tom Cruise like $500 million to jump off of planes for like the last 5 years, essentially. This show, the late night show with Stephen Colbert, was apparently costing CBS upwards to $40 to $50 million a year. And that includes his $15 to $20 million a year salary that they pay him to do the show. So they were losing a shit ton of money, and they're in the position right now where, because of the merger, they're trying to cut back anywhere they can, and his show was a casualty. That's really what it comes down to it is. But just saying, hey, you got cut because essentially you're not worth the money that we're paying you, that doesn't work when there's a global conspiracy to be had here that Trump essentially was the one who got this man fired, right? Didn't get anyone else fired. I mean, I would say that Jimmy Kimmel's probably been more venomous to Trump during this time period than Stephen Colbert has, and Kimmel is still around, but apparently it was only Colbert that wanted to get out of here. Of course, Jimmy Kimmel has also come out and basically said F you to anyone who supports his pal getting canceled here. So like I said, all the late night guys are all in this together. They're all trying to come out in support of their buddy here. I just want to show you guys this picture. This is an article that I wrote in 2017. So like I said, we've been talking about this for a very, very long time now. Yes. And I want you to just take a look at all the people who are in this picture. You have Colbert, you have Conan, James, what's his face, whatever his name was, Trevor Noah, Jimmy Kimmel, John Oliver, the black guy who got fired beforehand, Seth Meyers, I should say, Fallon, and then of course
and Nigel Farage.
That's exactly what we're going to call him now. Do you notice a common denominator with all of these people? Did you notice a common denominator with all of them? Okay, do you notice something else that's common with all of these people?
They're leftists?
Every single one of them. It's almost statistically impossible, Cider, that every single one of them are leftists and they all have the exact same opinion about Trump in America. Isn't that weird? You would almost say that when you have 10 guys who all have late night shows with the exact same viewpoint as one another, you can almost call it late night propaganda. Is that safe to say? Is that a safe statement to make?
Sure. I mean, it's pretty obvious anyway. I mean, when Conan O'Brien went to war with Jay Leno over the late night stuff, it was pretty obvious that these guys were all like one team. And when you didn't play along with that team, all hell broke loose. shows. So from there on, it's no surprise they all have the same politics.
Here's a problem, though, is that it doesn't matter, or I should say, it should not matter what any of these people's politics or political leanings are. You know why? Because it doesn't have anything to do with being funny. It has nothing to do with being entertaining and providing an entertaining product to your audience, which at the end of the day is who you work for. And when ratings are down, when performance has consistently slipped year over year, and it's just like, oh, it's an industry-wide thing. And look, I don't even think it's wholly political, but it's that definitely made a difference. I think it's, streaming's a part of it, and it's part technological, but part of it's also like the and I hate using the word content, but for the content that people go to late night for, you haven't delivered in a very, very long time. And so that's the whole thing, is like you're leaning into politics because you feel like it gives you some kind of an edge, some kind of a way in to people's perspectives, but you're really chasing more people away than you're bringing in, and nobody wants to see it other than like diehard political people who spend all day on Twitter anyway, bitching about whatever problem that they think is important. So it's just like I try to look at it from that lens, that like someone who's a good performer doesn't let you know what they really think because it gets in the way ultimately of their job and being good at their job.
Leslie says we're all the white women in that picture. Remember Samantha Bee? She was another Daily Show clone that had a show, and then her show got canceled. It's shocker. It seemed like I said, it seemed like there was an endless supply of these people here. And I have another article that I'll bring up here in a bit here too, because Jay Leno about a few years ago kind of talked about the current state of late night, and even he said that was like, look, when it was just me and Letterman, like we were political, like we didn't like avoid taking jabs at people, and we took jabs at Bush and Clinton and all that stuff, but it was never like mean-hearted or anything like that. The stuff that you see in late night now, which is vicious. And you know who actually went after him for saying that? This little British fuckface over here, John Oliver, actually went after Jay Leno for saying that, yeah, you guys have killed late night because you guys made it all unwatchable and political. And yeah, Ellen had a show and fled the country. We'll probably talk about it another night, but I want to read this article here too, because I haven't read this one in a little bit. Like I said, I wrote this October 2017. Let's see if times have changed. Let's see if anything has improved over here, or if this is basically a reflection of why Colbert got canceled here. Had a couple conversation a couple weeks ago with a friend in the entertainment business about the state of late night comedy. No, this is before the Vegas shooting, which happened around that time, where Jimmy Kimmel made a post for universal healthcare. We also grew up during the age of Jay Leno and David Letterman. For the most part, we discussed why Leno beat Letterman in the ratings, which was true. That was the whole point of Conan getting screwed over. What was it, like 15 years ago when he initially took over? Then they took it back like a year later. And it said that Leno appealed to the more classical late night audience. It said if you remember the days of late night during that time period, he was pretty much the format. This is the format of late night TV, people. Opening monologue, comedy skit, you interview a couple of celebrities promoting their project, musical guests, and then you sign off. That was it. That was the textbook format of late night television. And I can't even remember a time where that has been the case for quite some time now. But there's always a slight political aspect in the feud. Letterman, especially during the George W.H. Bush days, would goof on him a lot. We all saw those episodes. We all laughed at those episodes. Leno had a different approach. He famously said, I put the joke first and the politics second. When Leno did go political, he did not spare Democrats or Republicans, which gave Leno the appearance of being fair with his jabs, giving him more of a broader audience. Even then, I prefer Leno over Letterman. Doesn't mean that Letterman wasn't entertaining as well. I actually enjoyed their rivalry. It reminds me of the era of late night comedy. So then, of course, these are all the things that have happened in the last years after that. 10, 15 years afterwards, you have the landscape of late night television has changed. I can't say for the better. Leno and Letterman are gone. They've been replaced by a different kind of late night comedian, a kind of comedian that puts politics first and jokes second. When John Oliver left The Daily Show in 2015, which is only a couple years after I wrote this, a void was placed in the world of news and political satire comedy, quote unquote, and many of his correspondents started their own shows. Show. I mentioned Trevor Noah. I mentioned Colbert, obviously, Samantha Bee, John Oliver. They all spread out. And then suddenly the tone of late night comedy changed with a notable shift away from laughter and being a platform for political and social commentary. Over the last few weeks, Jimmy Kimmel has made national news for having anything to do with the content of his show because he has become the mouthpiece of left-wing commentary in America. Good to see that in 8 years that has not changed one bit. Went from calling from universal health care to gun control, and he was not the only one. Stephen Colbert, who's been vehemently anti-Trump for years, makes headlines going after the president on many occasions. Same goes for Myers, O'Brien, James Corden, I guess that's his name. And then you realize that watching late night comedy isn't about comedy anymore. It's about late night political opinion. The only comedian that has tried to avoid politics is Fallon. That did not last very long. But even then, he's been pressed to get into the political game through the backlash of his Trump interview last year and the fact that he hasn't attacked Trump like many other hosts did. If you recall, Jimmy Fallon had Trump on when he was running for president the first time around, and he got a whole bunch of shit from people on the left. And as the years went on, the writing staff of his Fallon show changed, and let's be honest, he probably has some alcohol issues behind the scenes. And then he started becoming more and more anti-Trump like everyone else, but he was basically like the last holdout in this time frame. So it's like, if you're fans of Rachel Maddow, Bill Maher, Sean Hannity, that's great because you know what you're getting from them. The problem here lies two ways. Late night content is now outright hostile to half of the country, at least half. And then if you were a fan of Kimmel back in his Man Show days or his skits with Matt Damon, you probably don't appreciate him saying maybe it's too soon for you, because deep down inside, you know in your heart that you bear some responsibility for the fact that almost anyone can get any weapon that they want, and that you can cover yourself up until the storm of outrage passes. You can go back to dirty business as usual. This is what Kimmel said to the audience, the people who actually supports gun rights in this country, after the Las Vegas shooting. So great job there. Likely you're not going to be tuning into any future shows listening to that. The second problem is the biggest one. When you watch late night shows to be entertained, not to be lectured to. Too many people don't watch late night for political grandstanding because that's not what the platform was used for. It is now. The platform is comedy, and many hosts have forgotten that. Take Seth Meyers, for example, who took time to take a passionate plea to Hillary Clinton not to attack Bernie Sanders for the sake of Democrat Party unity. That ended very well. Thanks, Seth. At the end of the day, this isn't about whether these guys have the right to say or do these things. The argument is that late night comedy has become too political, and can it still be considered comedy? If you're a longtime viewer of late night, can you still watch the current crop of shows to separate the art from the political, or from the current trend that made it impossible to do so? The answer is no, you can't. And like I said, this is something that I wrote in 2017. Good to see that the problem has not changed at all since. So, Rick, you probably listened to a lot of that, or I'll go with Cider first, then Rick.
Rick, yeah. If you got something, man, go for it.
Do it.
No. What?
I was just gonna say.
No, go ahead,
man. Anyway, I was just gonna say that this thing with the political situation, how they're using this as a platform for this. What do people want out of late night television, though? I'm not saying politics is the answer. I'm just saying, like, what was it supposed to be? Anytime I watched Letterman or Jay Leno's thing, I was bored to tears. Johnny Carson's stuff only had a few times when it was really solid. Most of that was when Jonathan Winters was on. It's just people kind of farting around at 11 o'clock at night.
We're going to erase Charles Nelson Riley as the guest.
Okay. Well, I like Jonathan Winters' stuff because he was like 8 guys at once.
It's about being drunk at fucking 11:30 and like, sweet, late night's on, and just you're right. It's not anything.
Exactly. And so this is why I'm asking, like, why did they go so hard into the politics? Like, I get that, like, you got your moment where you want a grandstand, but like, why is it all the time? It's just easy. Just get lit and invite Katy Perry over, get her drunk too, and put her out on stage. Magic.
Zider's basically saying what I constantly say. Who is the target audience? Ever since The Daily Show, the target audience has been one particular person, a very left-leaning individual who thinks that their job is to, I guess, speak truth to power. That's what we keep hearing about Stephen
Reddit
Colbert,
moderators,
that he's speaking truth to power. the thing is, they haven't. Colbert has been a particularly nasty individual over the years. This is a person who who at one point I think said that the president was performing a particular sex act on Vladimir Putin, which was so over the top that even some leftists said that, that's beyond acceptable, and he was, I think, forced to apologize at a certain point. Why? I don't know.
That was early on too, because they never would have apologized at this point.
Yeah. The thing I don't understand about this whole brouhaha is why is this particular hill the one that they're willing to die on? Why is Colbert this great force that we all have to rally around? The show wasn't popular. The people who were rallying, and I caught a bit of that rally, keep Colbert, throw Trump out, or whatever that was. I saw a little bit of it, and I'm like, really? You think that Stephen Colbert, this is the person that you're willing to we have to keep him? This is not Nazi Germany. I'm sorry to break it to you people, but this is not Nazi Germany where you're getting.
Are you sure about that, Pat? Are you sure about that?
Whoever you are. Well, no, I was just going to say, Rick, that there's going to be a lot of people that are very disappointed to learn that they do not live in Nazi Germany, despite their best efforts to tell everyone that they do.
Yeah,
but guys, they got concentration camps with alligators. Isn't that what everyone's saying now?
For being in Nazi Germany, I'm still waiting for my deportation order. I have my bag packed since January 20th. So it's like, when are they going to come over and grab me and toss me across the river?
So
hey, if you want to go out there, we still haven't seen one shred of video of anyone getting eaten by alligators down in Florida yet. So if you want to be the first person, by all means.
Well, look, okay. So you remember Biden talked about that railway to India? Well, you remember we used to ship out. Right. Yeah. The English shipped all of them out to Australia. And so that's what we're doing. We're working on the railroad, Rick. And it's going to take a while because the Pacific Ocean is fucking huge.
Now
it's going to take a while to get there.
In the clip that you played earlier, where you talked about Colbert canceling, getting canceled, you didn't play the part where he said, "Oh, my guest was Adam Schiff, because we know Adam Schiff, senator from California, he's going to bring in the ratings. Katy Perry's not going to bring in the ratings.
So here's
bring the ratings. Adam Schiff is, and Elizabeth Warren is, and Rachel Maddow is. All of these people. When are we going to, when are they going to realize they're not going to bring in ratings? And also, just real quick, back during the Johnny Carson heyday, you know who he had on his show? Ronald Reagan, Ayn Rand. These people who are, they're not on his same political spectrum. I would like to have seen Ayn Rand drunk. Probably. Yeah, she probably would have hit on me.
I will say this though. So this is the funniest aspect of this whole story is that Colbert over the last couple of days has been trying to craft this narrative because, like I said, he's fired now. So he has 1 year to do his show, then he's gone. So he and a few other people have been trying to craft this narrative that, the reason why Trump fired him is because Colbert was talking about Epstein and Trump's on the Epstein list. So that's why he got rid of him. That's why. It's like, have you all forgotten WikiLeaks? Did you guys forget that WikiLeaks directly named Stephen Colbert as being part of Hillary Clinton's team during the 2016 election? Not only that, in that same email chain, admitted that he was a CIA asset. He had contacts with the CIA direct by name. So this whole idea that, he's speaking truth to powers, the guy was literally exposed as a CIA asset 10 years ago. You're talking about people who are on a list? He's literally on a list.
This is something that's actually been. This is something that's been hinted at really for ever since these intelligence agencies have existed. That you have people that are actors, you have famous people that are it's easier to hear the message from the friendly face, the friendly friendly voice, whatever it might be. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, they've talked about having journalists. And Stephen Colbert is not a journalist, but because he talks about current events, he's sort of associated, and he works for CBS at the end of the day. And here's the funny thing is that Stephen Colbert, I would say, was funny in something like Strangers with Candy, Like back at like and we're going back literally 30 years for that.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's something there where it's like, okay, this is a talented person who can be funny.
Well-
Granted, if the writing is not, politically
Yeah.
motivated, but it's like, what is it? Power? Is it money? Is it just like,
It's
you know what I
ego.
mean?
It's
At
ego.
what point is it not enough though?
Is
It's
he
ego.
compromised?
It's
But
ego
let me
with
just
Colbert,
continue the
because
lie.
He's convinced that he is this not only paragon of virtue, but this great fountain of wisdom. And if we listen to him, the world would be much better. That's what it is. And I'll disagree with you, Rob, on one point. I just saw Stephen Colbert in Bewitched. Was it 2005?
The Will Ferrell. Yeah,
Yes,
the Will Ferrell
yes,
one. Yeah.
Yes.
I
So
know.
I saw that. So no, he is a small part. Granted,
That's
to
not
be
a good
fair.
movie though. Like, to be
No,
fair,
it's
that's
not a good.
overall.
It's
Just
not
not.
a
Yeah.
good movie. It's not a
Yeah.
good movie. I'll say this: something that we haven't talked about is the people who believe in this conspiracy that CBS fired Stephen Colbert, the greatest comedian of all time, because Trump put the squeeze on CBS. These people love conspiracy theories. These people are also spent lots of time believing that the Russians put Trump in power. They believe the Russian collusion. They believe that all of these strange conspiracies. So of course they're going to have a conspiracy that says that Trump personally got Colbert fired. Of all the people that Trump cares about, it's going to be Stephen Colbert, because they
All
love
of that because they
conspiracy.
can't just accept the fact Colbert was overpaid and the show lost a shit ton of money.
No,
And you're literally dealing with a network in the middle of a merger who's been bleeding billions of dollars for years. I mean, like I said, literally 2 weeks ago, we talked about the creators of South Park called out Paramount for this very reason, because their show is getting delayed and pushed back because they're cutting the budget on their show.
Didn't they just get a renewal?
Yes,
Didn't they
one
just
one
get
and a half
renewed?
billion dollar deal. Jeez.
I wonder if they're going to release more than 6 episodes this time.
Yeah.
Oh
But
boy,
at a
what is
certain
this?
point, of course, the people are not going to accept that it's an economic reason, because do these people understand economics?
No.
It's crazy how this
That's
is
why they're
where
leftists.
it's crazy how this is where Stephen Colbert's career peaked.
Mm-hmm.
Lighter. Ooh, flamethrower. Ring of power. Don't know what that is. Roll of quarters. Wait, that's not a roll of... Ah, here they are. Okay. All right. Here we go. And opening. On one. Next time. Spatial relationships. Okie doke. Come to Papa. Male and female and...
Yeah.
It's crazy how that was where his
Colbert-
career
It's all
Colbert thought that
downhill
he
from
was-
there.
The thing is, Colbert and his ilk are absolutely convinced that their job is to be political commentators and throw in like a laugh track. What was the Late Show, the Late Night with Stephen? Was it Myers, Jimmy Kimmel Live? All of these shows. It's what is it? I don't know if other people have said it. It's MSNBC with a laugh track. That's all it is. Constant raging about Trump and
there's
raging
10 of them. Like, seriously, even if they got rid of him tomorrow, like, you still got like 7 other late night shows that all bitch about Trump. Just go watch those.
No, because you're going to lose Stephen Colbert. You're going to lose the vaccine dance. Come on. That's like the highlight of all comedy.
I just want to point something out. If you guys saw the protest that was in New York City the other day about
I
Stephen
saw bits of
Colbert.
it.
Okay, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. You're protesting in favor of a corporate comedian who's paid tens of millions of dollars
CIA
to basically give you the status quo's political point of view on a daily
he's
basis.
against Trump.
He's not
But he's
Daniel
against Trump.
Ellsberg. He doesn't have the Pentagon Papers. He's
But
not an
he-
important journalist.
But he made fun of Trump, and that's the only thing that matters, Roberto. That he made fun of Trump, and that he was
Do
laughing
you
at
understand the reality of confirmed CIA asset Stephen Colbert? You're literally following what the CIA is telling you to follow. None of that ever clicks with people. It's like trying to put two blocks together and they don't fit.
I hate to be that
No.
paranoid guy, but the CBS logo is basically one giant eye, and that's always creeped me out personally. Just
I mean, if you want to go all in, Les Moonves and those guys that have been on CBS's payroll for years, I mean, guys, like, you got to wake up at some point. But with
forming conspiracies just makes it easier to deal with life than to accept that
avoid the truth.
Then accept, hey, this show was losing money. This show was not as popular as you think it was. And it was a decision to just cancel a low-rated show that people were not watching and that had devolved into just nothing but constant, I hate Trump screaming. But it's much easier to say, oh, well, it was Trump and all of this. It's that meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's basically that meme come to life. Who here has even watched a single episode of any of these shows? I haven't seen.
I legitimately have not watched late night television since Leno.
I occasionally rewatch like the last Norm Macdonald, David Letterman like appearance, but it's just because it's a sweet moment between two people that, worked in comedy and loved each other's company and whatever. That was like the last good moment of like late night TV, and I'm pretty sure it was 2015. I'm pretty sure it was a decade ago. So that should tell you something.
If these shows were
going to
popular,
keep this.
They would have been. It wouldn't have been canceled.
Yeah.
We're going to keep this stupidity train going here because I need you guys to follow the train of logic of why professional athletes are now threatening to beat up Robert Griffin III over a tweet. I need you guys to follow this as closely as we possibly can because I followed this and literally I could not understand the conclusion that came to this without just accepting that these people are mentally retarded. So, Robert Griffin III has been the ire of black people and black Twitter over the last several weeks because he publicly called out Angel Reese, the WNBA player who can't make a layup, for hating Caitlin Clark, which she clearly does. But he said it publicly, which makes him the bad guy. So if you recall a couple of months ago, Ryan Clark went after Robert Griffin III, basically called him a coon, said that, he only speaks on issues like this because he has a white wife and he doesn't understand the plight of black women and all this old nonsense over basically saying, yeah, Angel Reese clearly hates Caitlin Clark, which she does. So over the course of that whole situation, Robert put out a tweet. When was this tweet released? This tweet was about a couple of weeks ago, and then now people are threatening to beat him up over this tweet. So I'm going to kind of relay this here. He posted someone who had basically did a meme of Angel Reese depicted as a monkey. Now, the context of this tweet is not even relevant to the core issue here of this story. Here's what I mean by this. Whether you think that this is racist or not has nothing to do with why people actually want to beat up Robert Griffin III. Here's what he said. So he posted the picture and he said, all right, this has got to stop. There's no place for racism in this world. Whether you like the player or not, Angel Reese should never be called or depicted as a monkey. I've been quiet from the Angel Reese front because she shared a video that aided in my wife, kids, and family receiving death threats, physical threats of harm against my family and friends, and sexual threats of violence in my children on my social media and beyond. He said that would never be okay with me. I never attacked her or her family. I stated and backed up with clear basketball evidence that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. It's the sports. Not everyone's gonna like each other. People in Angel inner circle called me and told me that I was right, and Angel Reese has grown to hate Caitlin Clark because of media and always asking about Caitlin and constantly being compared to her. Some people made it about race, but I never did that. I never will. Instead, is becoming the villain of anyone's story. I just decided not to. All being said, Angel Reese or any black man or woman should never be depicted as a monkey ever. Stop it. If you hate Angel Reese because she's black, you're the problem. If you hate Angel Reese because you're a Caitlin Clark fan, don't turn it racial. There should be no space for racism in this world. That's what he wrote. So guys, I want you to go back to what I just read there. Is there anything that you read there that think that this guy needs his ass kicked? Is there anything that you guys see here to be like, oh, this guy needs to be taken down? I can't believe he would do something like this.
No.
Okay. So we're on the same wavelength here of, okay, what is wrong with what he said? Why are we threatening him? Well, apparently, Shaquille O'Neal had a completely different take on this, and a couple other people have had a take on this. Here's their take. The fact that he posted the meme that he was condemning in the post, where he's saying that you should not do this, the fact that he even posted that, they're now blaming him for posting the meme. So they're going around saying he's the one who posted this, and that now they're threatening him because of he was literally made a whole diatribe denouncing this, but now it's his fault. Here's what Shaquille O'Neal had to say. So here's Shaq, the big diesel, as we like to call him now. This is what
he's involved in this.
Yeah, because Angel Reese is from LSU. He's from LSU. He may want to bang her. Who knows at this point? But this is his comments about
what has happened.
Come on, Shaq doesn't need to do that.
So here's his take on this whole thing. Now listen to where this is going to go.
Speaking of man, RG3, tweet another monkey post about my girl Angel Reese and punch in your fucking face. Okay, it's enough. Like, I don't usually do stuff like this, but just stop it, bro. You got your job, you got your podcast. Leave my Angel Reese alone. I'm the one calling her and telling her not to respond. Fucking stop it. That's the last time. Okay, thank you. It's not.
Now let me ask you this: Did Robert do anything that Shaq just accused him of right there?
Nope. And I mean, he didn't. He noticed that he didn't specifically, address anything. He just basically threatened him.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, framed it as if he is the one who posted the meme in the first place. Framed it as if somehow it was his fault. So this is his continued statement.
Real hate. If you look around what's going on in this real country, that's hate. This is sports. I'm not supposed to like you. It's a shame that all the stuff you did in your life, you're going to be remembered for your podcast. You're going to be remembered for your podcast. That should tell you you're not that fucking great. I don't want to be remembered for Shaq's Bit podcast. I do not. Like, Leo's...
In case you guys aren't catching this, because you're not catching black lingo, that's basically their way of saying you're on the wrong side of history.
Now, would he rather be remembered for Shazam? Was that the gist of all this?
Would you rather be rather for that 1 year he played for the Boston Celtics and such shit? Like, what are we talking about here?
Guys, it's about Shaq Fu, okay? It's about the mediocre fighting game from the 90s.
Girls alone. You already spoke on it. Let it go. So what? He hates her. So fucking what? I hate you now. For messing with her. Now what?
That's literally not even what he said in the post. I got all. So this is where we're going here. He's now making an argument based off of stuff that was never said. Robert literally said in the post that he's threatening him about that he does not hate Angel Reese. Literally said that in the post. But now he's saying, oh, he hates her. He hates her. Is that what he said?
Say something about me. But she's not going to respond because I'm the one calling her and be like, baby, keep it classy. Because she's not soft by any means. I'm from the streets. But I'm like, you're beautiful. Don't indulge with these fools because he's a fool. You don't even have G14 classification to say that. I would respect it more if Lisa Leslie said it. Like, that's your category. Stay out of them people's category. Okay, you're sports, whatever you do, you talk about sports, but bro, you don't need to be going deep. Y'all can go deep. Y'all are females.
You're not allowed to talk about how Angel Reese clearly hates Caitlin Clark and everyone with two pair of functioning eyes can see it. You're not allowed to talk about it, so don't talk about it. What are we doing here?
But y'all understand what that's like. If he hates her, so what? Mind your business. Like, I don't mind you doing your job with anyone, but don't pick on that little girl. Because guess what? I'm her protector.
Oh, she's a little girl now?
You pick on me, I'm punching you.
I'm pretty sure she's in the WNBA.
I'm pretty sure she's like 23 years old, but she's a little girl now.
By the way, this is just this is not a great example, but it's like the way that just in general women are infantilized. It's like, she's a little girl. She's 23, you fucking moron.
The best way to show how she's a strong woman is by having this man be her protector because she can't protect herself.
She's strong, but she's crying to you behind the scenes. Is that what you just told me? Is that
and he's counseling her to use her voice by not saying anything.
Yeah.
So, is there any chance that they're gonna team up like Banjo and Kazooie?
See that, Cider? That's a racism. That's a racism.
Why is that racism? She's just riding on his back.
It is. If Robert Griffin did is racist, then what you just said is racist too. There's need to be no logic behind it whatsoever. It just is.
I don't even know what the reference Cider made was.
It's a video game about a bear and a bird of some kind. I don't know what the bird.
Yeah. So the gimmick of the story is that the bird rides on the back of the bear and helps him out, and the two of them work as a team. And it's just a gimmick that she is much smaller than Shaq, and so it would be like.
Isn't that the same thing with like a rhinoceros and little birds that are?
I think that's the inspiration. It just looked dumb having a rhinoceros do parkour, and they thought a bear would look less dumb.
Oh.
So here's another athlete, quote unquote, former WWE star Mark Henry also threw his hat in here defending
Also
Angel
7 feet
Reese,
tall.
taking it even further to say that the reason why Robert Griffin is talking about Angel Reese is because he hates himself because he's black. So this is what Mark Henry had to say. Yeah. Like I said, the only way you guys were going to follow this story, you have to follow the train of thought, because we're jumping from like point A to point E and no one knows how we got here. But here's what Mark Henry had to say.
RG3 just recently sent out a message about his issues with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And
Not exactly.
it would have been fine if that's where he would have left it. But he retweeted and resent out a meme that had Angel Reese as a monkey. Maybe 1,000 people saw it. But when he posted it, millions of people saw it.
Yup.
And it became a thing. In his apology for retweeting it, he basically contradicted himself and said, well, I talked to somebody in Angel Reese's camp that confirmed to me that she hates Caitlin Clark. Listen, man, athletes don't like each other.
But by the way, there was no follow-up apology. He's literally talking about the exact same tweet that I just read. So
they're basketball players, not fucking boxers. What the hell is that? The athletes don't like each other. Okay, on the court, but like off that shit, it needs to calm down.
That is ridiculous. I'm sure there are many players in many sports who don't hold grudges and who actually express respect for each other.
If anything, the NFL has gotten better. Like the NFL was really ugly, and it's really improved a lot in like the last 20 years.
Now, is there any suggestion that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark because she is, let me see, white, and that Angel Reese is?
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of black women out there who hate Caitlin Clark because she's getting all the attention for being a white girl. And the immediate reaction the second she got into the league was like, oh, well, what about this player? What about Angel Wilson? What about Brittany Griner? It's like, what about them? No one was watching for them. No one. It doesn't matter.
In fairness, Brittany Griner was in some sort of Russian gulag, right, at the time?
In all fairness, Brittany Griner might be a fucking dude. So, I mean.
Well, we also traded Brittany Griner for Victor Bout. Victor Bout is the world's most prolific weapons trafficker. He tricked the U.S. government into paying him money to traffic their weapons in and out of Iraq.
And we let him go during a time of war.
For Griner.
Yeah. They made a movie about him called Lord of War. Nicolas Cage played it.
Yeah. That's the character that Nicolas Cage is playing. That's literally what that guy does.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. So by the way, there's more here. Like I said, he makes it more personal than even Shaq did.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There are people that if they were on fire hard, I wouldn't pee on them to put them out. And for him to go on and do what he did and bring light to something that's so racist and so hateful and so disrespectful, it made me look at him.
Even though he literally denounced the meme, and that was the whole point of his tweet, was denouncing the meme. So why is that all on him? Like Leslie said here, basically they saw the photo and then just did blurry face on everything that he wrote leading up to it.
No, they just saw the meme and assumed that he was endorsing it or liked it or God knows.
Can they not read? Can they not read? Like you literally have to read the words before you get to the meme.
They can read, but they decided or thought that just the retweet or the image in itself was an endorsement. That's why I always say retweets and likes are not endorsements, because
Okay,
sometimes
but
I
you
just
know what
read
that is
something-
though?
Yes,
That's
what is it?
willful ignorance. That's choosing to be ignorant. That's not even not knowing. That's choosing to be ignorant on purpose and just be like, well, that's how I feel. It's like you have information in front of you that contradicts those feelings, and yet really, sorry, that kind of behavior is just so asinine to me.
Because it's extremely disingenuous.
Yeah.
Differently. And I feel like all the athletes, if you look on social media right now, all the athletes are going, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? You're not a woman.
He explained it in the tweet. If any of you can read above a fourth grade level, like
woman one. If the beef is with the women, let the women have the beef. Why do you have to be in it? Corny. Like,
Yeah,
you just
baby,
want-
let the women have the beef.
If two popular athletes hate each other, why are you commenting on it, sports podcaster? Why do you have an opinion on it?
But the thing is, if I understood the tweet and the post, he wasn't taking sides. He was saying, "Hey, stop demeaning Angel Reese and stop making it a racial thing." He was not saying, "Oh, I love Angel Reese," or "I love Caitlin Clark." So this man is kind of spinning his own ideas into something that was not there.
It's like both him and Shaq are arguing things that never happened. Because I guarantee you this: if Caitlin Clark had very clearly hates Angel Reese to the level that Angel Reese hates her, none of these words would be coming out of his mouth right now. Not a single one of them.
One of these corny, no good, self-hating people that I just can't deal with.
It is very disrespectful for RG3, who is, like I've said before, and I've said it again, he's from the 254, but he is one of those dudes that when you see him, it's on sight, because he thinks he's walked around with this person.
Oh, so you hear that? It's on site. So now they want to just physically like beat him up now because he has opinions about a popular WNBA star that they don't like. So he has to be jumped. It's on site. Know who says stuff like that? MMA fighters. But you know what? They actually get into a cage and fight.
Persona that he's better than everybody else. He's crossed the line. He's gone too far in the disrespect of a young lady that you have no business dogging out because you're not in that arena. Our job is.
Did he say anything about Angel Reese in that tweet that I literally just read?
They've somehow decided that it was this man who literally created. They think that was it Robert Griffin III or the third.
Mm-hmm.
That they think that he created the meme and they think that he posted it. This is what they think. There's absolutely no proof. There's proof of the contrary, but they've decided this. And I don't.
There's more proof of the exact opposite that they're saying happening than whatever they're saying right now.
But it doesn't give them a chance
to be able to talk about things. I get it. We have to address certain things, but there's a way to go about it with some tact and some couth about you. And he did nothing but ruin his reputation amongst our community, amongst the media community, and
our community. So he basically saying black people. Black people hate him because he's criticizing a black woman. That's basically in this. So remember, if you're a black person, do not criticize a black woman ever, or you will be ostracized by your community. That's what they're telling you.
Amongst those that understand how to play the game, and he's playing the game foul right now.
Hey, Hard, if he thinks for 1 second that him being self-hating and not liking his skin is going to influence our white counterparts, he is wrong.
Where did that come from? Like I said, they also hate him because, like I said, he's married to a white woman. And he's happy with his wife, and then they hate him for that.
It's projecting. It's projecting. I don't think that they hate themselves because they're black. I think that they hate anyone who, quote, goes, to the other side and doesn't see the world as this totally racist nation that keeps them down and is keeping Angel Reese down. And the reason they probably think that the reason the WNBA is not successful or popular is because of racism.
And you want to talk about how your quote unquote white counterparts feel? I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter recently, but no, there's a lot of content regarding black people that have people saying that, you know what, I think black people have low impulse control because they're just so prone to violence and doing violent things. And now you guys are sitting here on your platforms actively talking about, yeah, we need to beat up Robert Griffin III. We need to punch him in the face because how dare he talk about black women this way? Guess who's actually proving their point? It's not Robert, it's you.
They're looking at him as a weak link.
Yep.
And every athlete around the world of color is going to banish him. He's going to be a footnote in his.
Is he going to be banished to the shadow realm? Is that where he's going?
So hold on.
The opposite.
Every athlete of color is going to whatever he just fucking said. So you also the same? Is that the idea? You're a monolith? I'm so sick and tired of this of people saying shit like this and then being like, well, so and so is not a monolith. Okay, well, just pick a lane. That's all I'm saying. Pick a fucking lane. Okay, either you're allowed to think for yourself and you can be an individual and form your own thoughts through critical thinking, or you have to follow the tribal fucking mentality of your group. I am so happy that I'm a fucking mutt. So that I don't even have a one iota of guilt that I'm Mexican or I'm white or I don't give a shit because it doesn't matter. You know what matters? Me being able to think for myself. And that at the end of the day is all Robert Griffin III did here. And I don't even like Robert Griffin III. I do think he's corny, but for other reasons that have nothing to do with being black. And it's, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with that world. It's just he's kind of a dorky personality, but that's all it is. And it's like all he was doing was saying, hey, don't do what this person did. That's it. All he did, this is wrong. He was basically being an advocate for, if anything, the black community to say, this is wrong. This hurts a lot of people. This brings up a lot of negative feelings and it's not okay to do it. That's all he did. And now you want to take the opportunity to try to clown on Robert Griffin III because he's an enemy or he's an adversary to the black community or he's self-hating. He's not 100% behind every black person ever born.
He's a traitor to his people is the way they want to frame it. And I kind of feel I understand some of that because again, I'm supposed to be protesting and blocking ICE patrols. It's not like I'm encouraging people to like come over and take people away, but I'm not going to stand there and say, oh, they're taking my people. They're not taking my people because I'm a thorough American. It's like I'm not going to defend anyone who's saying, oh, stop the ICE. The same thinking here. I don't know why they've decided that all black people have to agree with me and that I'm the authentic black person. That's a very curious mindset. There's no such thing.
So there's like three things going on here at once with this entire story here. So I want to play a little clip here. This is from NBA All-Star Weekend, the WNBA All-Star Weekend, which happened literally this weekend. By the way, all the women were wearing shirts saying "Pay us what we owe." I want to play out a scenario.
Pay us what you owe us. Pay us what you owe us.
I want to lay out a scenario here, and I want you guys to be honest with yourself as I'm laying this out. Imagine you gave someone money for 30 years and you never got any of that money back. It was a net loss every single year, right? But you just kept giving this person money time after time after time after time, no questions asked. And then they come to you 30 years later and have the audacity to tell you that you need to pay them what they deserve or what they owe. Would you not punch that person in the face? Is that not a justifiable reaction to that level of disrespect? Then why are we pretending like this is the same situation here with the WNBA? Because this is literally the exact same situation here with these individuals. If we're being honest with ourselves,
I've been in those. I've been in a similar situation when it comes to people who I've either given money or been part of a group that shares baseball tickets, and then they don't pay, but then they insist that I'm taking their tickets. So yeah, I've been there. I know what that's like. And
by the way, This is the woman that apparently the black community is literally going to die on a hill for. This great basketball talent called Angel Reese. This is the All-Star game from last weekend.
Kiki Erie event.
Air ball.
At the 3 in the NBA All-Star game. And right away, Asia Wilson.
Air ball.
Picking her way up the floor. Nafisa Collier. Long. Shovels into Thomas. Thomas misses the ledge. Thomas misses the ledge.
By the way, I just want to point this out here. Not Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark did not play in this game. So for all the women who hate Caitlin Clark, when she's not on the court, this is the game that you expect people to pay money to watch.
3. Here's Angel Reese firing away.
Rick.
Off to Reese. Angel Reese has been on a tear of late.
Rick.
She's been on a tear. This is a tear? I'm sorry, this is a tear?
Surrounding
Rick.
with shooting, and as AT was telling us yesterday, they haven't even been fully healthy.
Yeah,
hey, at least she's an enthusiastic rebounder. You know, at least she gives effort.
I'm too short to play.
She got butthurt because people started calling them me-bounds. Because if she always rebounding her own missed shot, they start calling them me-bounds. And she got butthurt about that.
Didn't she trademark it, though?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she trademark me-bound?
After the fact. Because she realized it wasn't going away.
Well, I can understand why certain leaders in the quote, certain so-called black leaders would stand up for her. I mean, she is her generation's Rosa Parks, out there demolishing stereotypes and bringing the WNBA to new heights and selling McDonald's meals. So of course.
So you guys are gonna have to help me out because I've never seen Ice Age. But whatever that fucking creature is with the eyes that stick up, that's what she looks like.
Yeah,
and again,
either, so.
People can.
It's only going to be a matter of time before that's racist too.
Yeah, but this is what I mean: is people can use that. They can use racist language or caricatures or whatever. That's existed since whatever publications have existed. Has existed since, I don't know, people were crude to each other, which is like the beginning of time. So whatever, that's never going to go away, unfortunately, because that's how people are. But it's like, no, she really does look like that character from Ice Age. And so she's a good rebounder. Almost all of her shots are like within 4 feet of the rim. And she almost always has a negative plus minus. And if you know anything about basketball and efficiency and how that's scored, it's terrible. Like it's not something you want to shoot for. So I don't know. I feel like she's like the quote unquote one of the stars of the class she came in with next to Caitlin Clark, and because she's the black girl who won the NAU and all this stuff, it's like we need to protect her. It's like she's not that good. Like she's barely marketable. She's a good, like I said, she's a good rebounder, but she's tall and she's always there at the rim. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's a very basic skill set. She can't score for the most part, and there's really no comparison between her and Caitlin Clark. I have no interest in women's basketball, but there is no doubt the shot in the arm that Caitlin Clark gave the WNBA and is continuing to give the WNBA, and people aren't there for
still hate her.
Right.
And they still hate her. I'm just throwing that out there. So there's multiple things happening here with this story. First of all, when it comes to the RG3 situation, like I said, they just hate him because he's married to a white woman. And he's very proud of the fact that he's married to a white woman. He loves his wife, and they hate that, right? And they despise him, so they call him cornball and coon and all that stuff. So that's where it really comes down to, right? They're just using this as an excuse to attack someone who they already don't like. And no, here's the thing. We talk about, that's racist to say, that's racist to do. They're whining about, you can't depict Angel Reese as a monkey and all this stuff. Like I said, watch how they talk about Robert Griffin III. You will hear some of the most racist shit you have ever heard your entire life, and it comes from them. It 100% comes from them. Secondly, with the black community in general, and you see it here with Angel Reese, there has been this ungodly worship of black women in the black community. This whole narrative that black women are queens and you can't criticize them for anything and all this whole stuff. And you're literally seeing this here with Angel Reese, because people are throwing themselves on the hill to die to protect Angel Reese from any criticism of her action, of her attitude, of her performance, anything. They're doing everything they can to protect this woman. When she was, if you recall her last year at LSU, she didn't even play half the games because the rumor behind the scenes was that her grades weren't good enough to actually play on the team, and she had to work on getting those grades up before she could return. People went on to defend her over that. The whole reason why anyone talked about Angel Reese, because about 2 years ago, when she won the national championship at LSU, she did the whole, like, you can't see me thing that John Cena does to Caitlin Clark, her taunt to her, and she became a megastar in the black community because of that. It wasn't because she was great, it was because she was good, because she taunted Caitlin Clark. And they've been comparing her to Caitlin Clark ever since, even though Caitlin is clearly the better player. It's not even close. And then again, the whole narrative that they have to protect black women at all costs. And here's something that a friend of mine said, we talked about this earlier today. It's like, when it comes to the black community, they're essentially at the point where their God is black women. Like, you have people like Shaq and Mark Henry saying all these things about him because he criticized Angel Reese. It's like, if he had said something about Jesus Christ, you would have none of that heard this visceral reaction to any of these people. They wouldn't even have cared. But you say it about Angel Reese, then they want to fight you. So that goes to show you who the golden goose in the black community is. And then third, and this is something that I said when I heard Mark Henry talk, it's like, and we're going to talk about this in our next story here. This is why our society is in the position that it is right now. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about people in general. Is that because of simps like this is why it is impossible in a modern society to hold women accountable for any of their actions. Because simps will literally fight you to defend someone who, let's be honest here, they're basically defending box they're not even getting. Like, this is the textbook definition of weak men make hard times. This is exactly what's happening here. Like, I'll get to this one here in the next story. I just want to get to any last thoughts here on Angel Reese and this whole situation with Robert Griffin III. Like I said, they're now threatening violence against this man over something that literally saying the exact opposite of what they're claiming they're saying. So they're basically lying in real time. We can catch them in the lie, but they don't care because, like I said, it's all about the culture, quote unquote.
It's an emotional response to misinformation. The post that you showed us said that he condemns racism, he condemns that meme, but now all these other people like Shaq and this other host that I don't know who that is, they decided that he personally created that meme and sent it out and is now attacking this sweet young girl who has to be protected, who's a strong black woman, but who needs Shaq to defend her and to counsel her against using her powerful voice. So that's what it is. All of the people who really think this, it sounds like they just took a little bit of information that was wrong and then decided to just roll with it rather than say, hey, let me read the actual original post and then let's see what he said. Oh, it was a condemnation of racism. It wasn't, he wasn't attacking Angel Reese for being black. It's just, to me, bizarre, but it's all emotion driven. And maybe because there's this permanent sense of aggrievement among certain people that they are always a victim, that they're always being oppressed. We saw this especially in the Summer of Love. Maybe that's what it is. It's just lingering effects of that notion, that idea that they're always victim and that they can never succeed because the man, it's the man.
Yeah, that's just a great excuse never to try. They have a lot in common with Gen Z in that regard. And look, I get it. I understand the whole, like, I'm not going to try that way. I won't be disappointed. No, you'll still be disappointed. So it's just better to try. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. This whole situation is just so ridiculous. Cause it's like, it's about these people's feelings. It's about, it's about how it looks.
It's about people who can't control their emotions.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but it's.
And I will go as far to say this. This is kind of a textbook example is what happens when you're raised primarily by black women and you have no father figure in your life. You have no one who in your life who can teach you how to control your emotions like a man. So you lash out like a woman. But that's a conversation we'll talk about another time. I want to get over here to this story. I talked about this a little bit on Bounding in the Comics, and there has been an update on this story. So for you guys here, I'm going to start from the very, very beginning. There is a former WWE pro wrestler, so you can add this to another person who doesn't like me based on things that I've said on the past. There's a growing list of them now. Her real name is Brianna, but she wrestled in WWE as Cora Jade. I think she's now being referred to as Elayna Black, so she has multiple first names. We're just going to call her Elayna for the sake of this conversation. She put out a tweet. So here's essentially what happened. She was a young up-and-coming star on the NXT brand of WWE. I think she was only like 23, 24 years old, pretty young girl. But she was one of those people, and I guess we could see this coming if you look at all the red flags. She's one of these people who idolizes like AJ Lee and CM Punk and Paige. Like, those are her role models. Apparently, she dropped out of high school to become a pro wrestler, which is always a smart business decision in the grand scheme of things. But she got fired recently. Now, they told her she got fired because of budget cuts, which sounds like a nice way to tell people, hey, it's not you, it's just the fact that, we just don't have room for you at this time period. What everyone else on Twitter had realized is that essentially she started dating, and I do mean that term loosely, dating multiple wrestlers in WWE, including a couple of big name guys currently on the company, Braun Breaker being one of them. But as a result of that, she started dating a bunch of guys behind the scenes, and then she started causing drama behind the scenes when the other girls at NXT started dating her ex-boyfriends. And it basically got to a point where they had to realize, hey, look, you're causing way too much drama than you're worth at this point. We gotta let you go. But hey, we'll tell you that it's budget cuts, and we'll see you in a few years. Maybe you'll mature from this. Spoiler, probably not going to happen. So she's in the indie scene right now. At least she was very, very briefly. But she has now officially made the announcement that she's going to quit professional wrestling, at least for the end of this year, maybe for the foreseeable future, because her mental health is not where it needs to be. Now, I saw right through this the second that she wrote this and called her out on it because I knew where this was going. So I'll explain to you how we got here. This is her post from yesterday. It says, originally I had a 10-minute video explaining where my head is at, and maybe eventually I'll post it, but it seems unnecessary for now. I'll keep it short. I am going to be taking a break from wrestling for the foreseeable future. It's no longer good for my mental health, and I'll never know if that love for it I once had will return if I don't step away. I'm going to take the rest of this year to take care of me and go from there. I apologize to the fans and the promoters who are looking forward to my booked and upcoming appearances. I hope that you can understand. To my supporters, thank you, Brie, Elayna, whatever she's calling herself. And some quote says, let's go or be dragged, right? I knew where this was going. Because a little thing that you don't know about this, her literally right after she got fired from WWE, what was the first thing that she did? I'll give you guys a hint.
OnlyFans.
She started in OnlyFans. Like within a week. I'm not even joking. Like, this is not even funny. She literally started in OnlyFans right afterwards, right? But she posted this whole diatribe on social media talking about, oh, I can't do wrestling anymore. My mental health is blah, blah, blah. So I knew where this is going. So what I did here is that I replied. And here's what I replied. If you're genuinely saying that, hey, look, I need to step back from my mental health, this is what I said. Get off of OnlyFans, get off of social media, stop looking for boyfriends, deal with your unresolved family trauma, seek Christ, and take accountability. If you're looking for sound advice, you won't get much better than this. Now, what do you think her reply to this was after she saw it? Give you one hint. Shocker, she blocked me, right? So she blocked me immediately, and I went to reply, further proof women are not looking for solutions, they're looking for attention. Good luck working on your mental health on OnlyFans, right? Just so happens the update to the story is that, oh, guess what? It looks like that she's making more money on OnlyFans than she was making in wrestling. And that's why she abruptly made the announcement that she's no longer going to be doing pro wrestling, at least for the foreseeable future, because now she has OnlyFans money. She has SIP money. By the way, she bought herself fake boobs like sometime last year. We'll get to that later on here in this story. But this is where I knew the whole thing was, because here's the reality of the situation. And no one's going to say this because, let's be honest, a lot of guys are simp, as we just talked about with Shaquille O'Neal and Mark Henry. This is a girl who was moderately popular in the WWE, but she didn't have much real talent. She was still very, very green. Wasn't going to see the main roster at any point in time here. She's not popular enough in the indies to draw the attention that she wants. I heard something that she was asking for like a $10,000 appearance fee on the indie scene, which is absurd because literally no one knows who you are outside of Twitter. That's a whole other conversation. But here's what the problem is with these wrestling girls. They go to NXT or WWE. They don't make a whole lot of money in WWE. If you're on NXT, you're making somewhere about 5 figures. If you get called up to the main roster, you're in like the low 6 figures. But you know what you can do? You can start an OnlyFans once you get fired from the company, of course. You can start an OnlyFans, and all those simps out there who want to see pictures of your butthole, they'll pay a lot of money to go see those pictures and spend $20 a month to see you naked. And then you realize, oh wow, I'm making way more money on OnlyFans than I was making hustling and bustling on the road being a pro wrestler or cosplaying as a pro wrestler. So I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to show pictures of my butthole on OnlyFans and make money that way. So Meltzer, shocker, right? So Meltzer did his show, Wrestling Observer, and like I said, not a big fan of Meltzer at all, but this is what he said here. He says, I know she was talking to somebody who I know, and she's probably made more money in the last month than any female pro wrestler in the world, probably by a lot because of OnlyFans. Now, she also did a recent OnlyFans shoot with Mandy Rose. You don't remember the Mandy Rose story. Mandy Rose was fired from WWE about a year and a half ago because she was essentially doing a variant of OnlyFans while she was the NXT champion. Now, WWE did not know the extent of what her content was at the time, but when they saw certain videos circulating on the internet, they made her drop the title and fired her the next day. So now she's basically the same situation. Oh, I'm just going to make a bunch of money on OnlyFans. And that's what all of these girls are doing. When they realize that they're not good enough or they're just simply not going to make the money in pro wrestling because, you know, their dream of being a pro wrestler since the days of Total Divas didn't come through, well, now they just want to go straight to online prostitution, which is exactly what this is. It's online prostitution being propped up by so-called male wrestling fans today, which, by the way, are not the same wrestling fans from 30 years ago. These are not the same people from the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era. These are simps. These are permanently online people.
Worse somehow.
And there has been many, many references to how bad these people smell when they go to conventions. Like, they're literally the people who will forego a shower because they put on Axe body spray. I think that's going to last for the entire day. Those are the people that we're talking about here.
Well, in fairness, they spent like $30,000 to go to one of these WrestleMania events, so they can't afford to buy cleaning products.
Yeah.
You know, I'm depressed right now. Like, I'm seriously dealing with depression right now. And when I hear about shit like this, I'm like, you know, I'm not doing great, but holy shit, people, get it together. Like, oh my God. Like, if I can, like, seriously, I'm sorry. Whatever. I'm doing good. Like, I'm losing weight. Like, my workouts are going well. Work's going well. Like, if I can get my shit together, you guys can too. Like, holy shit, please. Please.
By the way, Terminator Joe brings up a great point here. Lacey Evans is another girl who I believe her contract expired somewhere in the last 2 years. And she did what all these other girls are doing, started an OnlyFans, started doing really debaucherous content. And what makes it worse on her end, say what you want about Brianna Core, whatever her name is, she's a single girl, 25 years old. She's going to ruin her life on her own dime. Lacey is married with 2 kids. Not just 2 kids, 2 young daughters who now have to see explicit content of their mother doing very, very debaucherous things on the internet. God knows what's going to happen to those kids, or God forbid they follow her example somewhere in the next 10, 15, 20 years. None of this is going in a good direction here. Nope. And you have a lot of people who will go out there and defend this because essentially they want to protect their investment. They're paying OnlyFans money to see these pictures naked, to see these women naked. They don't want to listen to anyone telling them, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this is what's negatively affecting your mental health that you apparently want to tell everyone on social media about. So you care enough to tell the world about it. You just don't want anyone to tell you how to actually fix it, right? By the way, TW is here. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? I keep forgetting you're doing these shows on like Tuesday. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I've just had a whole bunch of stuff happen, like my phone and like basically like I broke my phone, all that while I was at work, so that's fun. But yeah, this Cora Jade thing, you know what? This is what happens when you mess with meth head Punk.
Yeah, there's been long-standing rumors behind the scenes that their quote-unquote father-daughter relationship. By the way, CM Punk has no kids at all, but no, she's just quite literally a groupie for CM Punk. That there was nothing sexual going on behind the scenes there. You guys are being weird to suggest such a thing, even though she's knowingly slept with at least 3 to 4 people who were at NXT at the time, one of them being Braun Breaker, who's a main roster star at the moment. But no, she would never do something to sleep with her idol because she's not a groupie like that.
I'm still lost in the idea that you heal mentally by going on OnlyFans. Is that the new therapy? I mean,
apparently having fake fights on the indie scene was bad for her mental health, but being an online prostitute is great for her mental health, and that's what she's going to focus on for the next 5 months.
I don't really see how appearing naked and having people pay to see you, like doing basically a peep show, how that is supposed to bring healing and spiritual calm. But I'm of a different mindset. So
no, Rick, these people are full of shit, is the thing. So like, whenever women talk about this, whenever women on social media talk about this, about they're finding themselves and they're looking for their inner peace, and all these cliched fucking eat, pray, love phrases. Really, it's just give me I only want things on my terms and give me lots of attention and money. That's pretty much what that translates to. Now, hey, maybe there are women who say that shit who are really looking for a spirit. I don't know why they're advertising that on social media, where pretty much the whole point is to give people attention for whatever reason. So that's what all this sounds like. It just sounds like someone who's full of shit, and it's fine. Look, if you're making a shitload of money, you don't have to explain anything to anybody, but at some point you have to kind of like come to terms with what you did to get that money, and if you're okay with that, that's your life.
You are selling out. You're selling out, but you're selling out your dignity. You're selling out your reputation for a quick buck and for permanent exposure, because these things are not going to go away. That's why they say think before you post. All of these are going to be there forever.
And I wanted to point this out here, especially with TW here, that Cora, whatever her name is, like she said many, many times that one of her inspirations is Paige. Paige is a fucking train wreck of a human being. Literally, this is a woman who, same story 10 years ago, she was the young thing in NXT, 21 years old, the next big it girl. And of course, same situation. She slept with a whole bunch of guys behind the scenes. There are multiple sex tapes all over the internet with her and multiple guys within the company. Became a huge black eye for WWE for many, many years. She then escalated to an abusive, coked out relationship with Alberto Del Rio, who's still blacklisted by the company to this day for the relationship that he had with Paige. And now she's without a job. I'm surprised she hasn't gone to OnlyFans yet. Maybe there's still time for that one over there. And like I said, she's doing the same thing that her idol is doing, not realizing you're basically Paige from 10 years ago. The only difference is that I'm pretty sure the sex tapes are going to leak now. You can just say, well, I did it on my own, but the only thing that you haven't caught up to yet with Paige is having the coked out abusive relationship with a Mexican wrestler yet. But who knows? Perhaps that's coming too.
Oh yeah, exactly. And if it is a sex tape, I don't want to see CM Punk's naked body. I think that's the last thing I'd ever want to see. Good Lord. But yeah, dude, Paige is just completely. It's like, what's the point of her coming back? What's the point of her doing OnlyFans? It's like anybody that still finds Paige hot is just strange to me.
Like I said, this is why you can't have an honest conversation about this on wrestling Twitter, because, like I said, when you look at the wrestling fan base, you have primarily 3 people at this point. You have simps, you have women, a lot of them are lesbian, and then you have gays. That's your core pro wrestling fan base. That's why there's so few people actually watch wrestling in 2025 now, because that's all the people that you have left. Wrestling was in a much better place 30 years ago when it was rednecks and frat boys was the target demographic for this whole thing. Now we've gone so far the other way, you wonder how we even got here. And you can't have an honest conversation about stuff like this with any of those people, because the simps are the ones who are making Cora Jade rich, because now they're paying money to see her butthole on OnlyFans. The women don't want to have an honest conversation about this because they have a lot of promiscuity in their own lives, so they don't want to be convicted in any of that stuff. And let's be honest, are we going to sit here and expect any kind of moral grandstanding from the gays? This is where we are right now.
Exactly. Well, that is my question. I know it's not important, but I'm just curious. How did it shift from rednecks and frat guys to lesbians and gays and simps? How did that transition happen? I don't understand it. Someone who doesn't, I mean, I haven't.
I will tell you what, because the gays and the ladies have told you how this happened. And I'll do a quick little recap for you. Robin knows this. TW knows this. Is that obviously you had the Attitude Era, which was the most popular era that the company has ever had, both WWF and WCW. That's when the core audience was 18 to 34 men. And it was getting to the point where they were even contesting Monday Night Football at that time period as well. And then in the early 2000s, when guys like Austin and Rock and Goldberg and all those guys left, a lot of those fan bases, they left pro wrestling and then they jumped over to MMA. So a lot of those people who are still around watch the UFC now, or they watch the UFC or boxing. They don't watch pro wrestling anymore. Then you had the Chris Benoit situation. And Chris Benoit was a black guy onto the company because he killed his wife and kids. So they figured, okay, we need to fix the product so it's not 18 to 34 male dominated anymore. We need to be more family friendly. So they went the next few years in the PG era, adopting more family friendly mindset, getting more women, getting more children, and stuff like that. Then you have 2014, that quote-unquote reality show with all the women in wrestling. And that inspired a lot of women and gay men to waltz their way into the fan base, which drove even more people out. And over the course of 10 years of that, here we are in 2025. Like I said, you have simps, you have women, and you have gays. Wrestling is for the gay.
Exactly. It's like, and the crazy thing is, like, going back to the Paige thing, it's sad that she was more well-adjusted when she was with Ronnie Radke, of all people. Let that sink in.
Yeah. And then Paige was going around, like I said, she's trying to make it seem like somehow she's reformed, or she's got an abandoned zoo in LA somewhere. It's like, okay, so you're still just as degenerate as you were 10 years ago. You haven't changed at all. The only difference is that Alberto Del Rio isn't punching you in the face after doing a line of coke anymore. That's the only change in your life that has actually happened. And then this girl is going the exact same road. You're going to hear the exact same stories about her in the next 5. It's like more and more these women are just following the line of like Sunny and China and Miss Elizabeth, and not realizing none of those stories ended well. None of them. They all ended in tragedy, and you're going the exact same path.
Exactly. It's unfortunate. It's just very unfortunate that this woman and others are participating in self-degrading actions and behavior for I guess financial reasons. Yes, it's profitable, but that's not going to last forever. Your dignity is going to I think it's worth more than the millions or thousands that you're earning by exposing yourself. I mean,
but their way of coping with that is that if we just stop telling people about how degenerate their lifestyle is, that they won't have to come to terms with how degenerate their lifestyle is. So the point is not them fixing their behavior; it's just you not talking about their lifestyle.
Yeah,
and that's how we fix the problem.
And the biggest problem, like I see with that, is if these people were just in their own little corner, it'd be fine in their own little corner of the like world or whatever. That'd be fine, but unfortunately, it's spreading to so many different avenues, so many different cultures and subcultures Even the Gothic culture, which I honestly still to this day feel strongly about. And I'm definitely going to do some content on why OnlyFans or why Gothic culture is being ruined by a lot of these OnlyFans thoughts.
Okay.
There's a lot to unpack here. I know.
No, I mean there is. It's like I first of all, I feel sorry that people don't have a stronger. And again, I'm not Mr. Moralism here, but a moral center to say this is right and this is wrong, even for themselves. Yeah. And we certainly know in power centers, entertainment industry, Washington D.C., we know about the pay-for-play shit. We know about the casting couch. We know about all that stuff. We know that sex sells, not just in advertising, but inside the industries themselves. It doesn't really it doesn't get you anywhere though. This is the thing about that they never really talk about with the whole casting couch. It's you still need talent to stay.
Exactly.
You still need talent. And this is the thing. This is my perspective on wrestling. I loved wrestling from the mid 90s up until 2003. So there's a great 8-year window where it was really good. And there was a lot of talent and a lot of skill on display. So they didn't have to do things like this. Now, I'm not saying they didn't try to use sex to sell. You had Val Venus, you had Trish Stratus, you had a lot of different things that they pushed to the forefront that were definitely sexual. But you never had it. Now without the talent, now without the skill, all you have is this sort of I don't even know what it's called, the fake relationships that people feel are real, the parasocial relationships. Yeah. Oh my God, it's guys, you know that this isn't real, right? You know that when you go to a convention, it's literally it's an actor who's putting on a good face to sign. Put yourself in their shoes. Why would you want to do that? Why would you? I mean, you want to thank your fans. You want to whatever, but put yourself in that other person's shoes. And it's exactly. I don't know. It's I want to feel bad, but I also know that there are a lot of stupid people that I'm feeling bad for who, if they just had a few critical thinking skills, they would be oh, I shouldn't be doing this, or this isn't worth my time. But again, it's not up to me to tell people. It's a
natural. Like I said, a lot of people just want to live in rebellion, and that's really what it comes down to. It's not like they don't know that these actions are bad. They feel the shame. They know what shame feels like, but they still want to do it anyway. They don't want people telling them that you're on the wrong path or you're doing the wrong things. So they just want to be able to do whatever they want to do. The only difference is, I think this is what we've seen over the last 10, 15 years. If you want to do whatever you want to do, fine, you do that. But you also don't get to dictate the consequences of your actions. But that is really what it comes down to. So if you want the freedom of doing whatever it is you want to do, then you accept the consequences that comes with doing whatever the hell it is you want to do. You can't have both.
No, exactly.
Yep, so that's all it is there. So I'm pretty sure you'll hear more and more over the course of the next few weeks and few months about how she's this mega hit OnlyFans star. And of course, we all know that the photo is coming. It's hey guys, look, I bought a new car thanks to my OnlyFans money and stuff like that. We all know it's coming. It's what it's going to be. Like I said, some people need to learn their lessons the hard way, and there seem to be a lot of people in that pro wrestling bubble who are on the path of learning their lesson the hard way. It just is what it is.
I mean, it's not just bad for her. I know Rob doesn't feel particularly bad for people like this, but I don't. I want to feel bad for the people who actually pay for the OnlyFans subscription.
I don't, because they've been attacking me for the last day, so screw me neither.
But I don't, because they willingly debase themselves also by doing this version of a peep show. It's basically what it is. It's like a peep show from.
It's online prostitution. That's literally all it is. It's you're paying for a woman that you're not even going to sleep with. That's essentially what it is.
Paying for a striptease. That's basically what you mean. It's like not exactly a lap dance, but something like that. Because when you go to a strip club, you get to see the woman naked and you get excited and aroused. But in theory, you won't have sex with her. And I say this because I figure that there are many strip clubs where they probably do. Point being, it's the same. It's the same thing. It's a different variation, but all the men who go there and think that this is I don't know if they want to think it's love. It's perhaps gratifying, but that doesn't last, and it's sad, and their money's just being wasted. So there you go.
Yeah, Taxi Driver.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I had to play this part because this is just
Oh, it's so good.
textbook.
So good.
Sexual habits of family members. What about your sister?
My sister's been through a lot.
Of dick.
So, yeah.
Oh, Vince Vaughn can be funny.
Yeah. Look, I love Vince Vaughn. I think he's funny. I like his more serious stuff too recently. Let me just say something. I'm pretty sure, and listen, you can disagree with me, but in my experience, you pretty much have to lie to women. And when you get to moments like that where you're having an argument where you just want to say okay, you know, and it's just like you're gonna have to deal with it for the next couple of days, but it's like, yeah, that felt really good. That felt freeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's like there's a million things like that you feel. I'm just gonna speak for myself that I feel like I can't say, even though it's like the blatant truth, the blatant honesty. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to. There's myself over your feelings to get to a place where this can land comfortably.
There's a massive simp community that feels like that the only way to get over with women is that they have to bow at their feet at every given moment. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just have to tell a girl, you know what, go fuck yourself. Like that's really you just have to get to that point.
I learned that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Because guess what? You know, women actually don't like doormats, which is why a lot of you guys are paying for OnlyFans. Just throwing it out there. You have to, exactly right.
You have to. Be real with me. Be real with you, and then have to flip out. It's like a double-edged sword. If
Leslie, when you date women, you'll have to let me know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah,
Leslie has the luxury of being happily married for a very, very long time. But what I tell people now is that the women from the 80s and they're not the same women from today. It's a completely different game you're dealing with today.
Oh yeah, it's worse. That's why it's like
because in today's game, some of them might not even actually be women, and this is going to be our closer story.
so now you have to look over your shoulder. It's like.
Mm-hmm. So this is hilarious because if you guys have been paying attention here over the course of the last couple of months, there's been an online AstroTurf movement to make for Hunter Schafer in more ways than one. One is that people are definitely trying to gaslight you into thinking that Hunter Schafer, who just in case you guys don't know, is a dude. Trying to make it seem like that somehow he's just as hot as Sydney Sweeney, and a lot of people have been trying to push this gaslighting campaign, and people are not falling for it. But on top of that, there was also a push online for a while about getting Hunter Schafer to play Zelda in the new Zelda movie, and people were trying to be like, "Oh yeah, he should definitely be the person to play Zelda," and everyone with a brain was like, No, absolutely not. So, of course, shocker to absolutely no one, when the actual casting announcement got released, they went with a woman. A real woman. Someone who actually has a vagina. Isn't that breaking news to shattering news to everyone out there? So, yeah, it's The Legend of Zelda live-action movie cast. Was it Bro Bragison? Is that her name? She sounds British. It sounds. Yeah. I'm assuming she's British.
Bo Bragison, yeah.
Bo Bragison, okay. So Nintendo's Cider, you can read this.
Okay. Nintendo and Sony's live-action Legend of Zelda.
No. Just the name. I just need you to read the name right here.
Where am I? Benjamin Evan Ainsworth?
No.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Okay, there we go. Revealed that Bo Bragison will be playing Zelda, and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth will be playing Link in the live-action Zelda movie that Nintendo and Sony are both working on. I'm pleased to announce that the live-action film for The Legend of Zelda will be played by the two people I just named here. I'm very much looking to see both of them on the big screen. So, like I said, these are the people who are going to be playing Link and Zelda in the live-action movie. That movie probably is not coming out until like 2027, 2028. So that's really as far as the story goes there. The actual story here is the backlash, because there are people out there that are furious that Hunter Schafer was not selected, even though they tried their damnedest to gaslight everyone into making this thing a reality. It did not work. And then they're very, very upset by this. So this one here says gender activists lash out after Hunter Schafer is not cast as Zelda in the live action film here. Online discussions have heated up from gender activists frustrated following the casting reveal. It turns out that Zelda is not going to be trans. And like I said, the movie here is scheduled to come out in 2027 here, but yeah, they went with an actual woman, not a male who identifies as a woman. So yeah, I'm sorry. Just because you bought a pair of tits does not mean you get to play a woman in a Nintendo movie. So sucks for you, bro. These rumors were circulating, obviously, earlier in the year that that Park Place even says that it was originated from a PR firm. I'm not sure, is this the same story that our guy Masters of TDS also covered as well? I think he may have had something along the lines of this too. But essentially, there was a PR firm associated with Schafer who were trying to quite literally gaslight people into making that casting happen. Safe to say, Nintendo and Sony never for 1 second ever actually considered doing that for realsies, and now they're just lashing out because their gaslighting attempt failed, and this is where we're at here. It says here that Daniel Reckman, who's an online insider, was suggesting that Schafer was in consideration for the role, and there was obviously a lot of pushback against that when they put that out there. It's like, are you really going to put a trans dude in the role of Zelda, a movie that, let's be honest here, it's probably going to be aimed at children. So once again, we have that whole thing coming back in our faces once again. But the online fans created the art and petition, but soon it was clarified that the hype was manufactured by a PR company connected to Schafer, aimed at generating buzz, basically trying to make people think that this was going to happen. It turns out that it wasn't. And then, of course, the actual announcement got made, and there was a few angry people there. What was it? Brianna Wu? Is that her name? Is that the person's name?
Yeah, the gamer lady.
Correct.
Exactly right. that individual made just a huge diatribe on social media. I'm not reading all that shit. I'm just not. I already have to read through all of Shaq and Mark Henry's. Like, I'm not reading yours too. But here's a couple of other things.
I hate that I missed that.
Yeah, so here's someone with a trans flag saying, still no Hunter Schafer Zelda is unfortunate. Why isn't Hunter Schafer Zelda? It literally they'll piss me off, Nintendo. It's like, yeah, I don't think Nintendo cares about you very much.
No, exactly.
There's more people saying that, oh no, it needs to be Schafer. And in conclusion, no one's going to accept this dude as a woman. So you probably should just stop. Just stop with the gaslighting. No one thinks that this person is hot. No one's like, oh, isn't he at least like, stop. Just stop.
Exactly.
If that's the message of tonight's show, it's just stop. And we're going to leave it there. Go ahead, TW.
Honestly, for this Hunter Schafer person, I mean, if I could say anything about it, why don't you just get that person to play Link? I mean, Link is pretty much already a twink at this point. Maybe they may not even notice.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, the gay community have tried to latch themselves to the Zelda franchise for many, many years, and Nintendo more than once has had to tell them to F off. And that's one thing I can respect Nintendo for. Now, Nintendo will sue you for next to nothing. So let's not pretend like Nintendo is like the hero of this story. But the one thing that I will give them credit for is that they are very, very diligent in protecting their IPs. They're not letting their popular IPs like Mario and Donkey Kong and Zelda, all those go to shit like so many other pieces of art here in the United States have completely gone to shit because of these activists. And that's why they're so upset about this, because their influence in in Japan is nowhere like it is here in this nation. This is why they're rebelling against so many Japanese things. Cider talks about this all the time, how they're going after, Japanese anime and video games and content creators, stuff like that, because they don't have the power to influence their culture the way they have the power to influence our culture. And it makes them very, very upset when they can't get their way.
Clearly.
Yeah, TW. I don't think that Hunter could play Link because I think she has tits, and I don't think Link has that anatomical feature. But
so way to go. You're too male to play Zelda, and you're too female to play Link. So you found yourself a nice little niche there
somehow.
Good job. Screwed it up. No, I don't know much about Hunter Schafer. I just every time there's this page I follow because it's movie related, but it's like synesthetic or something like that. But he'll post like all these fucking Hunter Schafer, and it's like, and I'm just under each one. It's a man. and look, it's not about harassment. It's not about constantly making fun of somebody who's trying to live their life. No, it's about being honest about what the truth is. That's all it is. Okay, you can live whatever life you want. But if you're going to consistently present yourself a certain way and basically like lie about it, I don't know. I think it's fair game to basically call that out. This in particular, I didn't ever think it was a serious consideration because at the end of the day, you want to have the best talent. You want to have the best, person for the job. And I don't think that that's Hunter Schafer, unfortunately. So just trying to be as nice as I can here, but also like outline what the truth is. It's just like, look, there's plenty of jobs that you'll be available for and be up for and whatever. But it's like, I don't know. This kind of seemed like a bit of a outrage bait. But I'm sure there were a lot of people that would like to see it. But I'm
like I said, they're just trying. They're trying so hard to make Hunter like this trans sex symbol. It's like no one's buying it.
It's a man. It's just a man. Like it's like I get it. It's someone.
It's a dude with a solid boob job. That's all it is. Like no one's like. That's all it is. Like I'm sorry that people aren't buying into the con, but it just is what it is.
I mean, the Crying Game came out 33 years ago. You know what I mean? Like that's it's just you know what I mean. And it's like what? And again, I don't care what people do for the most part. Like whatever, live your life, do what you want to do. Just don't make it my problem. Just don't make it this thing where you have to accept me at the same level that you accept everyone under the sun. Yeah, it's currently under the law.
Like I said, it's more than just use my pronouns and call me a woman and all that stuff. It's like now it'd be like, well, if you don't think I'm just as attractive as Sydney Sweeney, that's because you're transphobic. It's like, yeah, I guess I am. I'm sorry. Like, I guess this is the line in the sand that we're just gonna draw here.
I don't have much invested in this because I don't follow video games, and Zelda's a character I've heard of, but not too familiar. I have one question. Is Zelda trans?
Nope.
No.
Then why are we considering a trans person?
Exactly.
If Scarlett Johansson can't play a trans woman, then why is Hunter Schafer in the running for Zelda?
Right.
That is my question. If the character is not trans, why are you offering a trans performer to play a non-trans character? I don't think you can have that. That seems an inconsistency. That you can't have a quote cisgender person play a trans character, but you can have a trans character or a trans person play a cisgender character. I don't know if there's logic to it. It seems to be an inconsistency. I'm just curious. If the character is not trans, then this Hunter Schafer, whom I've never heard of until today, should not be considered for the part because, in theory, this person is wrong for the character. Zelda is supposed to be a female, and it should be a female.
Like I said, not to mention the obvious implication that this is essentially it's supposed to be a children's movie. Like I said, a lot of kids are going to watch this because obviously it's based on the popular video game that a lot of kids play. Just like a lot of Nintendo properties have a lot of big children fan base, like Mario and Donkey Kong, and there's a multitude of like other ones you can talk about here too. Before we go to Cider here, I just want to point out I literally just found what Rob was talking about here earlier, because here's a photo of Hunter Schafer by some guy that jumped chairs. The first comment, biological man. The first comment.
And not to, just want to point that out real quick. Or the Austin Powers meme. It's a man, baby.
It's like, I'm sorry, you're not going to gaslight people into finding you attractive just because you identify as a woman. Like, I did a whole diatribe on this on the Angel Reese story earlier about how black women are the golden goose of the black community. It's very, very clear now that trans people are the golden goose of Hollywood right now. Because like I said, everyone's parading around trans people left and right in Hollywood. Everyone has a trans brother or a trans daughter or a trans son now. It's almost as if it's statistically impossible for that small congregation of people to all have trans family members, yet that's just what Hollywood is now. We're just supposed to sit here and believe that, oh no, it's totally normal, this is totally acceptable. It's like, no, there's something else going on here. No one wants to mention the elephant in the room.
Exactly.
Cider, is he still with us? Did he die?
No.
Oh, there he is. There you go.
I don't really give a damn about Hunter Schafer. I reported on this like everybody else that this is a massive joke and it's not going to happen. And that is what happened. Because the Japanese are not going to entertain any of this. It's not even in their lexicon to do this. It's only recently the Japanese colleges have started accepting that trans people are allowed to even go to the colleges, let alone, be accepted by society. And even then, this is going to push them too far because, as always, there's going to be trouble. Yep. Now, they know right off the bat that 50% of the audience is going to, if not more, is going to jump ship on a male Zelda, regardless of how Hunter Schafer looks when you've got his fake boobs smushed up against his rib cage. So the mistake that I think a lot of the activists make about this is that they think that like people outside of their dumb little masturbatory friend group cares about this. And the only way they do is the guys like Rob, they want to go around and be like, that's a man. That's like the only reason why they care about Hunter Schafer is just drop in and be like, by the way, guys, that's a dude. Until next time. Like the Skeletor meme.
Yeah.
Running away.
Yeah.
I will just push back a little bit with the idea that, they won't cast Hunter Schafer or another trans performer because it's a children's movie. Did we not see Lightyear where they were like, hey, we're going to have a gay character because that's what children like? And
that wasn't the Japanese, though.
Well, Nintendo.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yep. And then, but you also, I'm just saying that the fact that it's geared towards children does not necessarily preclude them bringing in these types of topics.
Well, Rick, that Pixar movie that just bombed at the box office, I don't know what it's called, but that was basically like they were originally gonna make it into like a gay kids movie.
Yeah.
Well, they did that with Stranger Things. Not Stranger Things. Strange World.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Pixar has basically been doing that with every movie that they released in the last 4 years, so we're being honest with ourselves. And that's why parents got upset, because parents is like, stop putting this trans gay shit in our fucking movies, expecting me to have a conversation about the LGBTQ community with my fucking 6-year-old. It's not going to happen.
Oh.
But I'm sure there was probably like a 6-year-old child who knew that they were trans from the day they were able to speak. I mean, that's a Jazz Jennings.
Yeah, like all of Charlize Theron's kids that she bought from Africa who just turned trans at 3 years old, and no one thinks there's anything sinister going on with that, right?
Yeah, that doesn't sound crazy at all.
That is very curious that she just happens to adopt 2 children.
Yeah, that she literally bought kids from Africa and turned them trans.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that they probably came from different families, were not related in any way, and they come from a culture that is not particularly welcoming towards trans people, and they just happen to both be trans. It is very curious how she just happened to find the only two black children who were not related to each other who could be trans. It's an extraordinary feat.
Yeah. And by the way, somebody had mentioned, I think it was Leslie, talking about Pedro Pascal's sister, quote unquote, who's a dude as well. And this may be another reason why he's been in so many movies over the course of the last 2 years. Because like I said, it seems like every 2 months he's on a red carpet parading around his sister on the red carpet. Here's from, I think, last night's Fantastic Four premiere. And of course, this is E.T. here.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of seeing this guy. It's like, and it's sad too, because at one point, like I wanted this guy to at least maybe play like Eddie Guerrero if they came out with an Eddie Guerrero type of like biopic. But
yeah, at this point, just don't give him any more ideas. We really don't need. But yeah, here's Pascal.
I just met your sister, by the way, who is so amazing. Your brother has always been such an advocate for the Latino community.
By the way, she has not shaved down that Adam's apple yet. I'm just throwing it out there.
The LGBTQ community, especially the trans community. What does that support mean to you?
Well, I think that people like him are exactly the ones that need to be voicing support. It's people with position of power that should be defending people that are marginalized. And he knows that, and he's incredible. And all of it, like, it's not even about me or about someone specific, you know? He does it from his own heart.
Thank you for talking to my sister.
Oh my gosh,
she's a star.
And she's a huge, obviously, she goes so hard for you, and I know you go so hard for her.
And this is a thing that I've pointed out time and time again, just real quick, is that so many people, they don't want to speak out against a lot of the stuff that happens in this community because, oh, well, you know, my brother's this or my sister's this or someone close to me is. So that's why a lot of this stuff, people just turn the other way, turn the other cheek in. But like I said, this is essentially the end stage of here where it's clear that this individual has gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars of plastic surgery done to look like a woman. Still can tell by just body structure, the skeletal structure that is clearly a man. But we have to sit here and all play Fantasyland with this person. And then, of course, people get upset when no one wants to play along to this degree. And it just is what it is.
Yeah, I'm just like, is that not sad though? Like for like trans people, it's like even the way he said like, "Thank you for talking to my sister." He said that as if that was like
yeah.
Yeah, like he said that was like an obligation or like thank you for like I don't know.
Thank you for essentially giving attention to the fact that, you know, my brother is no longer a dude.
Yeah, like thank you for taking care of my like mentally inept child. That's what it seemed like when he said that. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But that's all it comes down to. They're just upset that their plan didn't work, and I'm pretty sure they'll find, you know, some other children's related franchise that they'll corrupt sometime in the near future. So they'll never admit defeat. They'll just try again somewhere else, and then we'll just continue here. Yeah, exactly. All that money on plastic surgery did not cut down that Adam's apple at all, or the pointy, you know, shoulders, the clearly like little boy shoulders. Like, there's a lot of tells here while you're trying to convince people, no, I'm totally a girl. And it's like... But any other last thoughts here before we wrap things up and get on out of here?
Nah, I'm good.
Well, I'll go ahead and give you guys the floor here so we can all circle on out of here. I guess we'll start off with our good buddy TW. What are you working on?
Yeah, man. I put out a video like called YouTube's Worst with someone that was like a former friend of mine, but whatever, you could check that out. I got that on Rumble, YouTube, Odyssey. But what I'm also going to be posting on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey is I'm going to be, as well as bringing back gameplay videos and music reviews, I'm going to be talking more about Gothic culture and how it is absolutely being ruined by the very OnlyFans, Instagram, model type people, and the fact that goth dudes are treated more as just trophies and stuff. I'm going to be talking more about that, and I'm also going to be talking about how WWE's Rhea Ripley is even ruining the Gothic culture. So I guess if you're interested in that,
speaking of daddy issues,
oh yeah, hell yeah, that's going to be a fun video to make.
Mm-hmm. All right then, Rick, what do you got coming up?
I'm going to watch a few more movies from the Plaza Classic Film Festival. I'm going to watch Rush tomorrow. I saw Boogie Nights, Run Silent, Run Deep, and I'll see if I can catch a couple more. I'm also preparing reviews for The Summer Under the Stars, and I don't know, it's getting to where I might actually write a review for every star. That's 31 reviews, which is a lot for me. And I'm going to get ready to watch Pedro Pascal in Fantastic Four First Steps, which I've been assured by his generation's Roger Ebert is one of the greatest films of all time. I mean, as all of them
It's
are.
the greatest Marvel movie into the next Marvel movie.
It has revived. It has course corrected, and now Marvel is back again and again and again. So I'll probably watch that this weekend, and yeah, that's pretty much it. More reviews and hopefully sleeping. It's like, well, that's pretty much it.
Deported. Oh, Cider, how you going? Cider.
Not being deported. How about that? But on Fridays, we do have Slam Ball Friday on Bounding into Comics. We do that now because I'm pretty convinced it's a sci-fi sport that we're getting a preview about 200 years before it was supposed to be a thing. And that's right. You'll be playing Slam Ball Obscurity for 200 years. How about that? Anyway, we also do the Nostalgia Show on Saturdays. Jacob and I had a great time going through early 90s MTV spring break oopsie doodles. A fella had nearly been asphyxiated with a hot dog eating competition. His
guy almost died.
His wife/girlfriend was just shoving that hot dog meat down his throat. He was like shaking his head saying, no more, no more. And she kept piling it into him. And of course, on Mondays, we're back around again to 01 at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Meanwhile, we're talking about a bunch of stuff on Bounding. So tune in, click on the website, whatever you want to do, we'll be there.
Nice.
All right. Rob.
God, I needed to say something there, and I just had nothing. I've seen Boogie Nights. That's the one Anderson movie I kind of am a little hard on because, it's it's about the porn industry, and I don't know. It's
a lot of hard-on going on there. That's what I understand.
Yeah, there's a lot. It just wears out its welcome after at the 2-hour mark. You can follow me over on my Twitter, Rob_Motto. I talk about movies. That's about it. Just watch a lot of movies, and Eddington was really cool. Hope we get some more surprises for 2025, but we're just about 7 months through here. It's been pretty rough, so I guess I'm going to force myself to go see the Fantastic Four movie, so I have something to talk about on Friday. I'll my stream link will get shared on my Twitter, so just follow me over there for that, and that's about it. So we'll see you next week.
All right, letting you guys know what we got coming up. There's movies to review, and there's a lot to catch up on, but half of them have Pedro Pascal in it, and I'm just not motivated to watch any of his films at this point. So they'll come out eventually, to just give it time. What we are coming up with, like I said, me and Cider and Nerdigans will be doing Slam Ball on Friday. Saturday, I say we just continue with the spring break theme because that produced a lot of hilarity, and I realized I had a lot more content than I initially planned on, so there's still some juice left in that tank. We'll do that one on Saturday. Sunday, I got the Bible Ends coming up. I'm going to do part 2. Oh, by the way, the Sunday is episode 100 of the Bible Ends, and it'll be essentially how to survive the tribulation and what I believe is going to happen in tribulation. So the first episode was more from a biblical lens, talking about what the Bible actually says is going to happen, and then mine is more commentary based on what the Bible actually says. So it would be a little bit more of how I think this whole thing is going to play out, but a little bit of Bible mixed into it as well. So that's what's coming up on Sunday. Monday, we got the 01. Go back and check out yesterday's episode. We talked about a few things, especially when it comes to Japan. Japan's a very hot topic at the moment. And then, we'll be back here once again next week for 159 for the ballroom. And I want to go ahead and play this one before we get out of here, because if you guys like our nostalgia show on Saturday nights, here's a little clip of the hilarity that took place. There was a lot of hilarity / debauchery that took place during that show on Spring Break, MTV Spring Break, and here's a little preview of what we had to experience on that one.
Get ready, get set, go! There you go. Well, as we're doing all that good stuff, we have got some more great stuff coming your way.
This lady's never heard of chewing. Look at her.
I'm pretty sure that's attempted murder.
That lady's his ex-girlfriend.
And then Julie's just screaming, "Eat it! Eat it!"
It's just somebody in a thong standing there.
That's what I was saying. Ass just
It's like, slow down, bitch.
Do I look that fat to you? You might be stuffing this much in your mouth, but I'm not.
This would be, in fact, a terrible way to die.
It really is. He's getting worried, like, this guy's just covered in it. She's just all over his face. He's like, no more, please. I'm never gonna eat another hot dog in my life.
I want to do it. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. I'm pretty sure there'll be more of that on Saturday too.
That is awesome.
So yeah, that's all the stuff that we got coming up here. So to all my guests who joined us tonight, to everyone who's joined us on the chat, thank you for joining another Tuesday night here. But for now, it's time for us to get out of here. Adios, goodbye, and good night. Which one is the actual outro for our show? I have too many outros here on StreamYard.
It's that
StreamYard, fix your crap, StreamYard, you stupid.
Okay.
Making your way through the daily grind takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to tune away? All those nights when you're feeling low, the rent is overdue, and your coffee maker's broken, your luck just seems to skew, and your boss is always on your case. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Roll out of bed and you feel the dread. The morning's looking bleak. And your internet is down again. You haven't slept all week, and your car just broke down on the way. Be glad there's a place online where you can feel at ease. In the barroom podcast, friends, we share our thoughts and tease. Every story shared, every laugh so free. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. So here's to the moments we all hold dear. In this barroom of the airwaves with friends so near. Every story shared, every heartfelt cheer. It's more than just a podcast, it's where we steer.
I still don't feel like I know how to shoot these things.